When the still sea conspires in armor and the horse breathes its last breath in mute nostril agony, there is still the final day of the 2018 Forrest Wood Cup. This is Stray Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television. I'm your host, Pat Renwick, and we are here live and breathing right now from the Hot Springs Convention Center in Arkansas. And we're pretty stoked right now to have our buddy coming to us today here live, sitting next to me, smelling like a rose. This guy right here.
That was a hell of an intro.
Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, from BTL, the Bass Zone, and just bass fishing extraordinaire. Say hello to cousin Matt right here. Matt Pangrac. Yeah.
We got the sound effects and everything.
We do. This is a big time show.
We don't mess around.
See that?
I like it.
It's right there. Andy, give him a got the answer wrong sound. Give him one of those. See what I'm saying?
You only get that from the highest end.
Yes.
I got you.
That guy over there, he's a drummer, and his name is Ryan Popcorn Whitaker.
What's
yes.
up?
That's the popcorn.
Day 3.
So is your name Pam or Pan?
Pan.
Pam? Are you saying Pan?
I answer to anything.
Pan.
I
think I can clear this whole
Everyone
thing.
just calls me Pang.
I can clear this whole Matt Pangrac thing up right now.
Go for it.
I'm just going to call you Matt.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's
it's
what
Matt.
I'm happy with.
It's Matt.
Yeah.
How you doing, Matt?
I'm good. This is a lot of twists and turns to this derby.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I see it. It is a weaver.
It's like whoever catches one has a shot at winning.
It's,
It's like whoever catches the biggest fish might
I
win.
know. It's crazy.
when you're boxing 1.25s.
I know. And when Chris Jones is having you just glory hold up, pounding 3/4 fish.
Show me your two best. Nah.
Yeah.
Never
it's
mind.
Crazy. And then out
Yeah.
of nowhere comes. I mean, they said anybody in the top 10 has a shot to win.
Yeah,
so.
and that's crazy. It is a test of the best. I mean, for real. And I guess this for a bass fishing junkie, let's call it. This is kind of an ideal derby. Now for just as far as seeing a slugfest or just huge weights and weigh-in purpose, it's not necessarily the deal.
No, I mean, look, you've got deep grass, you've got shallow grass, you've got shallow cover, you have bait. You got guys chasing fish on bait that are up shallow. You got guys that are dragging stuff in brush piles. You got guys that are fishing ledges.
It's a variety platter.
You got guys who are fishing docks.
Yeah,
I mean, there's 7 right off the top of the head.
It's like ordering the number 9 Admirable platter at Long John Silver's.
The Admirable platter?
Yes, the Admirable Admiral. It's the Admirable Admiral.
just
I'll
sit
have
there
the
and you-
contemplation breakfast,
You
please.
just sit
Yes.
there and look at it for about 5 minutes before you're
No, it
allowed
comes
to
with
eat
everything. You're exactly right. So it's like it comes with hush puppies, it comes with shrimp, it comes with clams, it comes with the fish fillets, and you can even get a side of green beans if you want. This is the
I'm with you.
Admirable Admiral
You just
platter.
admire it for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then you eat
That
it.
is an admirable
And then you're like,
platter.
hey, my food's cold. And then they give you a new one, and you do it all over again. But that's exactly what's going on in this derby. It is a variety platter. It's a taste of everything.
And then you look at James Niggemeyer, and he's like the old man in the top 10, too.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. He was talking about that behind stage, after he went in the media room. He's like, well, these guys are like 20.
But he's
25 years old. Yeah, for the cup. So
Yeah.
what'd they say? There were like 22 cup rookies?
Yeah,
That's
that's-
insane. That's half the field almost.
That's nuts.
a lot of fellas in their 20s.
Who if you had to just pick a winner out of not necessarily who's got it coming or whatever you might say, or who is due, who's your pick just out of a favorite guy, not an odds deal, but just who's your favorite?
Before the tournament started?
No, right now out of the top 10.
Well, of course I'm going to go with Clay Davis. The guy's got a 5-pounder and two 2.5 pounders in his box.
So
But
that was
no,
originally.
I
wanted to win?
No. I thought going into today that Niggemeyer probably
was going to win.
Well, yeah. I mean, the guy, he's super calm, super cool. He's been in a lot of situations. He's seen everything, and he's due. And he's easy to root for too.
He is.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the
Good
nicest, most genuine. Let me tell you a James Niggemeyer story real quick.
Please do.
and I might have told you guys this the other night, but he was out on Kentucky Lake practicing, and I was doing a Duck It on Tour deal, and I was out with Tim Horton. Tim Horton hooks up, and they're about 100 yards away, the only two boats on a ledge. And Tim goes, "Oh man, I got a big one on this plug." He goes, I don't want James to see it. So he sits down and he starts hand lining it in, pulls the rod box open and starts hand lining it in. It's super, super sneaky trick. And it gets about halfway back to the boat and the thing starts jumping. Well, Niggemeyer's looking at it going, no, wait, what the heck's going on here? Because here's Tim sitting at the bottom of his boat, hand lining a fish in, and there's this 5-pounder jumping with a plug
So
in his mouth.
throwing at it?
No, so he is sitting there looking at it, and he comes over, and Timmy goes, oh, he caught me. He stands up and just winds it in, puts it in the boat, holds it up and everything. And Niggemeyer comes over, trolls over. He goes, hey, Tim, I just wanted to let you know I saw you catch that fish. Great job, good fish. Man, I was getting ready to leave, and I hadn't caught anything here, so you won't have to worry about seeing me on this spot during the tournament. Wow. And then cranks up and leaves.
Wow.
I mean, that's super. That never happens.
Yes. That is an admirable
trait. That
Yes.
is an admirable trait.
Yes. Absolutely it is. If I were going to pick, I like John Cox, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think and you talk about cool and collected, that guy keeps it together. So I think if he could get onto something too, the pressure doesn't get to him.
You don't think there's some weird voodoo thing that there's never been a two-time cup winner?
I think it's a voodoo medicine woman named Phyllis that has put a curse on these anglers here, so there's never a two-time.
That's kind of weird, isn't it?
I think somebody needs to do it today.
I think I said on BTL that I think it happens this year.
Yeah.
But I thought it would be Scott Martin. It's not.
Yeah.
He's filming stuff with Brandon today.
You got Atkins in there?
I would assume so. Yeah, Atkins is in there and John Cox. So there's two chances for it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like you said when we started, dude, it's anybody's game today. Yeah. Seriously. You come up with a couple fives, boom. That's more than most bags that are going on the whole Derby. A couple 5-pounders in one bag.
Yeah,
Could you imagine?
Catches two big ones today.
Yeah, two big ones.
What if somebody just comes in today, Matt, and they got like a 25-pound bag? It's just like totally get into some secret brush pile and just.
We call that an Edwin bag.
It's an Edwin bag.
After what he did at Grand a couple years ago.
Exactly.
Came in with an Eddie bag.
Exactly, an Edwin bag. Hey, I want to ask you, whenever we have a guest on Straight Cast for the first time, not only for our knowledge but for the viewers' knowledge, we like to get a little history, an origin of, in their own words. Can you give us a little? I know you've been at this a long time, dude.
How far do you want me to go back?
Go to the womb. So take us from the womb till present.
Okay, so
what was the feeling you had in the womb? Do you remember?
I got into this. This is a weird story. I was 12 years old, and I went to the fishing expo in Decatur, Illinois.
Yeah.
And I did the casting kids contest.
Yeah. Awesome.
And I ended up getting like third in the state that year. So the next year I was like, I want to win this thing because I had heard of the Bassmaster Classic. So I won it the next year. And ever since I was 13, I got to go to the classic that Denny Brower won. Nice. And I got like a big giant cartoon check that for $5,000.
Yeah. A check that says $5,000.
Yeah, it says it. And Hank Parker gave it to me on the final day of the classic.
Wow.
I mean, it's just for hitting a bullseye target, the casting kids deal. But
ever
since then, I have wanted to be in the fishing industry.
That gave you the bug.
Yeah, but then I also played hockey. So then when I had a chance to come to Oklahoma and just play club hockey, I was like, there's good fishing down there.
Nice.
And then Mark Jeffries from the Basso needed an intern. I was a communications major, and it just rolled from there. I was willing to work for nothing.
And you've literally, unlike Eric the intern on Ike Live, exactly. he makes like 9 figures.
Yeah, exactly.
At that show.
So
there.
I mean, that's the abbreviated version.
But, dude, seriously, think about it, man. You've been able to experience some pretty cool things. So going from that 12-year-old kid to where you have got to travel, the adventures that you have been on with Mark, the anglers that you have admired your entire life, you kind of grew up with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only job. I slid lumber in high school at Menards. But other than that, it's the only
Did you ever tell people get it yourself?
The only paying job that I've ever had. So.
Wait a minute. So were you fishing as a kid?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I fished.
You didn't just end up
every
at an
day.
expo
No,
and
I was like
contest.
I was like the youngest person I've ever known to have a cell phone, because my parents would I had a flip phone, and they would just drop me off at the lake, and I would call them when they would, you know, my dad would go to work all day, my mom would do stuff, and then I just in the summer, and they just come get me at the end of the day.
I don't think
I was the same way. I had a pager when I was 11.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Nice.
My parents wanted to keep track of me.
That's what my mom would call every once in a while, and as long as I was good to go, I mean, I'd stay out there 18 hours a day.
So actually, you are the prodigy, not Brandon Palaniuk.
That's true.
No, well, Palaniuk's not the prodigy anyway. Like, if you look up the definition of a prodigy, the guy's won multiple Elite Series events and Angler of the Year. He is no longer a prodigy.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
He's not.
He's,
I mean,
Right.
He has come to fruition.
yeah, that's what I've said. That the fruition should be his nickname.
Exactly.
He's a seasoned veteran now.
Exactly.
Yeah. New
So,
nickname.
I mean, it does seem like maybe from an outsider's perspective that you have a pretty glamorous job, especially a fishing fan. They might look and be like, "Wow, Matt's got an amazing." But dude, it is a bump and grind. A lot of it.
Yeah,
you
you
know?
to travel around, and I mean, fortunately, there's a lot of good people in the bass fishing industry.
Absolutely.
You know, I have access to them. They're willing to work with you. They want to, you know, interested in your life just like you are in theirs. So there's a lot of good stuff that, you know, a lot of good people, a lot of good things to do. So it's a fun job. You get to like hang out with. So the cool thing is like all the guys on the FLW Tour and the Elite Series, like the majority of them grew up like their dream job was they wanted to be a professional bass fisherman.
Sure.
Right? So how many people can say that they spend the majority of their time around people who are living their dreams and doing exactly what they've wanted to do since they were a kid?
It's inspiring.
There's not many people who can say that. I mean, you're sitting there looking at them, and that's what they've wanted to do since they were 6.
Yeah.
And now you're hanging out with those people. I mean, it's a cool job to be around those people who are living their dreams.
It really is, and it rubs off and shows.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're around these people, you get to, you know, as you do on the Bass Talk Live, you and Mark, or as we do on this Stray Cast show, it's a pretty cool feeling that you get from these individuals that sometimes, and I like to bring it to their attention a lot too, that look, dude, you are living your dream, and that's a huge deal. Now, how many people could say that? How many people have dreams, but yet they end up being a carryout guy at the grocery store?
Yeah.
Nothing against that, you know, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, look, you did this.
Well, I see them when they're living their dreams. A lot of them end up being the carry-out guy at the grocery
That is true.
a couple years after they live their dream.
Yeah,
That is
that's happened.
That is true, dude. No doubt. So you were. I'm going to switch gears here a little bit because I'm fascinated by this. But you were with Mark the majority of the time when you guys did the 20-foot deep with Bob Hamilton.
Right.
Did you get creeped out, dude?
No, I mean, not really.
I got creeped out watching it. I loved it. I think I
Yeah.
watched it, I don't know, like 8 times or something.
Yeah,
I think
it's
now.
a
7 or 8.
wild. I just know that while we were talking about the 20 feet deep, Dancing with the Devil, Life of Bob.
Yeah.
Story of the 1992 Bassmaster Classic champ,
Yeah.
Robert Hamilton. That was all a Jeffrey's deal. Like I did most of the.
But
the
you were
Steve
there.
Kennedy. Well, yeah, I did
And
all
we
the
talked
filming
with
and
Mark
stuff,
all about
but-
it. I just want to
No,
know.
I wasn't creeped out. I mean, we would look at each other while I was filming a couple times and like be like, okay, this is gonna work. Like this is legit. Like, you know, he starts talking about some of the stuff he believes he's seen. And
Right. That's what I'm, dude.
yeah, we're like looking at each other going, okay, we can work with this. And it's genuine too. I mean, you could tell the guy was genuinely was telling his story. There was no
It seemed
fluff.
that way, and that's what creeped me out. I mean, it was
Yeah.
creepy, but it was good creepy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It was an amazing documentary.
No, we got done and we were driving back to the hotel where we were staying, and I was like, man, who do you think he saw outside of the classic arena there? Like, who do you think that was? After he had, you know, seen the same guy twice. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No eyes. Black
yeah,
eyes.
black eyes.
That's crazy.
But no, it
Was
was
Jimmy
it was,
Houston with his glasses on the whole time?
Yeah, very well could have been, but it was really cool of him to do that and spend all that time with us.
Absolutely. And just the fact that you guys tracked them down. If you haven't seen it, it's on thebasszone.com. Check it out. It's real easy to find. Probably one of the best documentaries on bass fishing that I have ever seen in my life. The entire 20-foot deep series is amazing, but that one really stuck out to me. I don't know if it was the anticipation for me personally, and the fact that once I watched it, it creeped me out.
And he's still optimistic. I kind of like that fact too. That after everything that's gone down,
he did, and I would think that I could see a correlation between the programs that he's involved in to better himself. You know, you could tell that had given him some inspiration, it seemed. You know what I'm saying? So he had to have something to grasp onto because he was so far down. And it's great that Bob was able to do that, and hopefully we'll see him do something more again. You know, I know he's selling.
He wants to win the Classic again.
Yeah, he's selling yachts.
That's the word on the street.
That'd be awesome. Maybe he is the dark horse of this Forrest Wood Cup right now.
Bob Hamilton.
He's going to show up in a yacht,
sitting on brush piles.
He's got the new Minn Kota, but he's got a 94-inch shaft on it on his yacht. He comes out, just wrecking him. He has a secret brush pile that the guy with black eyes showed him.
Yeah.
And he just comes out here and wins and weighs in anyway.
There you go.
That would be amazing. Pulls the yacht in the thing.
We would have part 2.
But hold on. Wait. It's Bob Hamilton pulling into the arena. What would you do, Matt?
We would film part 2. That's what we would do.
The saga continues.
Yeah.
It's right there, man. How often do you get to fish, Matt? I know you're always busy doing.
Man, I try to get out 2-3 times a week. I mean, I haven't been lately. I mean, the heat of the summer, there's not a lot. So I recently just moved up to the Tulsa area, and there's a jackpot or a tournament you can fish 6 days a week.
Really?
On different lakes. I mean, we've got Fort Gibson, 10 Killer, Eufaula, the River, Hudson, Grand,
Dude.
Fort Gibson.
Yeah.
I mean, all that's within
all historical.
Yeah, all within an hour.
That's amazing. And again, Oklahoma seems to breed amazing anglers.
Yeah, if you fish and you're from Oklahoma, you either get your ass handed to you or you're like one of the top anglers. If you look at the history of the anglers on the Elite Series in FLW,
there's a lot of them.
It's amazing how many top anglers are that came out, and it's cool because, I mean, obviously I just fish the local stuff and the big team stuff. I mean, there's a number of 300 boat team tournament trails in Oklahoma, but it's cool because all those guys, you know, like the Jason Christies and Terry Butcher, Edwin Evers, Jeff Creets, all kind of came.
Sure.
Tommy's. Tommy was a little bit before my time there where they were, but all those guys kind of came up through the same thing, and everyone has their stories about, you know, I pulled up on this stretch of willows and Jason Christie was flipping it too back in, you know, 2004,
right,
like that. So it's you take a lot of pride in the guys who come from Oklahoma, and you know, now Zach Burge, obviously he's at Blanchard. And
dude.
You know, you look at the Costa Championship, what he's doing with MLF, and
he's got a chance today too.
Yeah. So and he's been in the hunt multiple times.
Oklahoma breeds monsters of anglers.
And Jeffries. I mean, you can throw that monster in there
absolutely.
Too, so.
No doubt. So who, in your opinion, Matt, is the biggest badass in professional bass fishing?
I got to go with Jason Christie.
100%.
Yeah.
He's a badass.
Yeah, dude.
I would want him on the water and in a bar fight. He's got that long, lanky arm where he's going to reach out and get the guy before him and Brad Hallman.
Yeah.
I kind of remind each other.
And do you know who Jason's Christie? He was here yesterday, sitting next to us, Christie. We had a great time with him. And do you know who his answer to that question was? Who it was? The biggest badass in professional bass fishing.
Did he say himself?
Nope.
No.
Who did he say?
Greg Hackney.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah. That's the only guy that intimidates him because Christie is an intimidator.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Big time.
He doesn't.
He knows it.
Yeah, he knows it, but it's like it's just there's something that's some kind of aura that comes off of that dude. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm with you.
Yeah. And then Hackney is the only dude that intimidates him.
There you go. So that makes Hackney the biggest badass.
I guess so.
Sure.
But I still think that Christie is, but definitely those two. I agree right there. Those are the guys.
Hackney?
Yeah, those are the guys that you want behind you in the bar fight.
I don't know if they've ever tangled. Have they ever been fishing the same stretch of water and had a?
I don't. Not that I can remember.
No, because
not that was on film,
said,
at least.
Christie said that they sometimes end up, they don't see each other in practice, but they'll end up in the same area, and Jason just kind of goes and does his thing.
Yeah, he said they both just kind of leave.
Yeah.
Just no
They
direct
know
eye
that if they
contact.
both fish there,
Maybe
neither of them are going to win.
Maybe for the
Yeah.
next 20-foot deep, if we did like a let's rent a arena, and let's do a cage match between Hackney and Christie. Yeah, like a total old-fashioned WWE cage match.
I go with Christie on
I
that
got
one.
Christie in that one
Yeah.
too.
Do you?
Yeah.
But what if Hackney pins him? Because he's
I don't know.
Christie-
Hackney just spends a lot of time in the swamp. I don't know if he's,
Hackney might have a good ground to pound.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Hackney can look.
But if they're standing up,
Hackney can look at people and turn them to stone.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
He
does
so
have
there's the
powers.
there's the
Yeah.
glance. So you got to take that into consideration. And the unconfirmed Sasquatch kills.
Yeah.
Seriously, nobody else
Yeah.
has that in professional bass fishing, but Greg Hackney, right?
There you
I mean,
go.
now Christie does bite the head off of rattlesnakes, which is pretty impressive, right? So I mean,
I could see him doing that.
yeah. So this hypothetical admirable situation right now could actually happen. No?
I could.
Yeah, it could.
But I
the-
still got Christie.
that,
Cage
okay,
match.
all right, I respect that. I do respect that 100%. So what's up? What's next for Matt?
We got the final Elite Series tournament up there in Waddington, New York. They like going up north.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorite stops out of all of them. I mean, the people come out there. They have beer.
Yeah.
There's restaurants.
They got
out
beer there.
Giant
They have
smallmouth. I mean, listen. The weather, it's cool. It's usually very cool. So you're not
Right.
sweating.
Like you're used to in Oklahoma.
Yeah, your
You mean it's not
shirt's not
95
covered in sweat, so it's
7 in the
cool.
morning?
There's good beer and there's giant smallmouth,
Nice.
and it's pretty.
Yeah.
it is.
I mean, those are the four things. So I like when they end up north. So we'll go cover that and then see who makes the top 50.
Have you ever been to that Lake Chatoog where the AOI Derby is?
I did. Interesting story there is I covered the college national championship there that Jake Whitaker.
Okay.
And I think his partner's name was like Andrew Helms. I could be wrong on
Okay.
that. That'd be a little. But they won it, and he was throwing a frog on Chatoog. And
Really?
I was doing a website called the College Bass Zone that's not around anymore.
But the Instagram page is still there.
Yeah, well. Yeah, that's like our. That's our
That's another
Instagram.
story.
We just changed it. Not the brightest crayons in the box when it came to the social media names, but. He was up there throwing a frog, and my boater was like, "Man, you see him? Like he's gonna be on the Elite Series in a couple years. He's a real good stick and all that." And this is on Chatoog, and I was like, "Yeah, okay, well, yeah." A couple years later, now he's leading the Angler Rookie of the Year race,
Right.
Jake Whitaker.
Yeah.
And he's gonna get to go back to Chatoog.
That's not Ryan's cousin.
No.
No.
Yeah.
No. TTAKER. I'm
Okay.
ACRE.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been there. It's really pretty lake. So
And I actually have some family that lives on Chatoog.
Really?
And the fishing I hear is phenomenal.
yeah, they've got like every species that's ever swam in that lake,
yeah,
based on where it's lolocated.
I know
hope it's a
that
frogging thing.
the
makes
kids
for
go
good
out there
TV.
and they just whack them on the Ned rigs out of the pontoon boat.
There you go.
Just throw in the nets.
Mark Daniels Jr. Mark it down. He's gonna win it.
What are you doing next fishing wise?
I'm gonna fish the U.S. Open
That's right.
as a AAA.
Wow.
So the first time I've ever fished a tournament out of the back of the boat, and
Where is
since
that?
it's at Lake Mead
oh.
out there in Vegas. So
That won't be any fun.
The historic Lake
Yeah.
Mead.
I've always wanted to. That's obviously, if you listen to Rick Clunn and what he says, that's like one of the tournaments you have to experience.
Sure.
So, I mean, the rumor is there. You know the rumor of Rick Clunn at the U.S. Open. The
Well, didn't
legend of
he-
Rick Clunn.
Isn't that one of the tournaments where he visualized something and ran way,
Right, but there's
way
all
up the river?
Yeah, and fish, ran up and caught,
Yep.
had
Saw all the
visualized
fish
it
that
off
he
one
caught.
stump. But also, there are guys who have claimed that they've been practicing and it's 110 degrees on Lake Mead, and they do it, and they run for an hour and a half, and they haven't seen a boat, and they pull into a pocket, and they get in the back of the pocket, and there's Rick Clunn just sitting naked, contemplating Indian style on the front of his bass boat,
Yes.
getting in touch. And then the other rumor is that his wife has been with other people, and like a blackbird flies over the lake, and she's like, "Rick just caught one."
That's real. That's bass
Those are
fishing.
stories.
No,
that
that's real.
Those are legit stories
Those
that
are-
I've heard.
Yes, that's true stuff.
So-
And
I
then-
hadn't heard the blackbird story, but the other ones,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, and then there's those giant birds in Arizona. What are those called?
Phoenixes.
The phoenixes. Yes, I've heard that Rick Clunn rides a phoenix.
That's
Also, yes. These are true. You look them up, Google them, put them on the Google machine. It's all true.
I heard a media guy one time tell a story, and I'm not even going to say what his name is, but he was riding with Rick on the Ohio River Derby, and the classic that he won, like one of the toughest classics ever besides Pittsburgh. And he said that they're fishing. This is back when the media guys could even fish. Imagine that, the media guys fishing during the Bassmaster Classic, having their own.
Yeah.
And he said that he said it was just horrible, nothing. And he said all of a sudden Rick like enters this zone and there's like an aura about him, and it was like an energy field. And he said in the back of the boat he could actually feel it happen. And Rick just turned to him and he goes, "It's happening." And he went dunk, 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 square bill off this, off the stumps there, and wins the classic. The guy said he's just sitting there. He's just got goosebumps. He's like he could physically feel something.
Who's the writer?
I ain't gonna say that.
Come on. That's amazing. That's an amazing story.
Yeah,
that.
who knows if it's true or not?
Happening.
But that's what he said. He said it's happening, and he said you could feel like the energy around him.
I believe it.
I do too.
I mean, 100%. I really do. I'm not goofing around. I mean, there's something about Rick Clunn. He when he was on our show last, Rick Clunn, and this goes back to an old Terry Brown interview from Bass Fan Radio, where Rick Clunn told Terry Brown that he knew how to win every tournament he fished, but it was not fair to the people that loved him. And Rick Clunn confirmed that just a few short months ago on the Stray Cat show, and he said he had to stop doing it. He had to stop. He just had to. Came to a point. So there was
you know why that's so believable, all this stuff about him, is Rick Clunn. Do you think Rick Clunn would do anything that wasn't worthwhile? He doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would waste his time with something that wasn't effective.
There's some kind of
with
mystic
all the meditation
involved
and stuff
with
like
that guy. Yeah.
He ain't
Shaman,
wasting his time.
All kinds of stuff. He knows Jim Morrison. It's awesome.
I'm a big believer in the like the mental, like the transition, like kind of you can like
transcontinental drift.
No, that's not where I was going with that.
Contemplation breakfast.
But in like your whatever kind of attitude you're in, like somehow translates somehow to
100%.
the fish and what you're around and your surroundings. I mean, you rarely see like guys who are super negative that like good magic stuff happens to them, and it's always the guys who are like, "Oh, crazy stuff happens."
Just stumble into
How many times have you just had a negative guy in your boat and you just have a terrible day? You don't catch him.
No, I've had a co-angler like in the opens when I fished the opens for a year, like in the back of the boat, go, "This is what you're doing for the rest of the day?" And when I say yeah, he goes, "Well, we're screwed."
Get out of the boat.
Yeah, and it's like 9 in the morning.
Thanks.
That is the worst.
Thanks for the confidence.
I mean, he actually said it.
And I subscribe to that theory. I've pretty much eliminated. There's still some things I'm dealing with, but I've pretty much eliminated most negativity from my life, and my life is bettered for the tenfold.
There you go.
True story. I mean, it's.
Oh, absolutely, man. That energy's bad.
Yeah, energy is everything. Amber is the color of our energy.
That's a song lyric.
Yes,
I don't know.
Yeah.
But is it a? Wait, who sings that?
311.
Okay, yeah.
There you go.
See,
I didn't recognize it without this super tight, high-pitched piccolo snare drum that I hate with all of my being.
Dude, we are at the Forrest Wood Cup. This is a big deal, and history could take place here in multiple ways today. Multiple ways. Could have a back-to-back FLW Cup winner. We could have a guy coming up from the ranks win it. We could have the lowest weights ever in a derby, maybe. But I don't think so. That's going to happen.
Yeah, it's probably going to take about 30 pounds.
Yeah.
But there's Clint's been around. Fished for Montevallo State. He was the Rookie of the Year. Fished FLW for a number of years. Went over the Elite Series. Fished that for a couple years. Came back to FLW. So for a young guy, he's pretty established.
Right, yeah.
You know, he's won over $500,000 total between the two events.
It's going to be a nail-biter, dude. I mean, it really is. So for a bass fishing freaks as ourselves, it sets up for a good weigh-in.
And no one's dialed in. I mean, every day the leader.
It's rando, completely rando.
I do think, though, somebody's going to find a couple big ones today. They got a lot more room to stretch out, with only 10 boats out there.
But, I mean, you have Alex Davis, who goes to bed one night dreaming of winning the Forrest Wood Cup, leading it, and he's not even fishing today.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you look at how quick things change.
Crazy. One bite, and I'm sure he probably hooked the fish that put, It sounds like everybody is losing fish on top.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys have had
story
followers. And it'll be
Yep.
the same story next year.
And we'll
but
be back.
really, I mean, I can't believe how much effect it's had when, these guys lose one fish and they drop 40 spots.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And
that's a tough derby.
There's a lot of that negative attitude that we talked about going on there, but we won't get into that. Hey, I'm Pat Renwick. This right here is Matt from the Bass Zone. Ryan Popcorn Whitaker. We're going to put the power poles down and take a break, man.
Sounds good. I need some water.
Yeah, there's plenty. You need to hydrate, sir. Yeah. Plenty more action. Don't go nowhere. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to Straight Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television. I'm your host, Pat Renwick. It is day 3 of the 2018 Forrest Wood Cup. We are live from the Hot Springs Convention Center. Say Hot Springs like James Brown.
Hot Springs.
Hot Springs. Get into Hot Springs.
Too hot in Hot Springs.
This dude right here is FLW Tour Pro. Let's give it up. Loud studio audience round of applause for the one and only Alex Davis right here. Yes. And, of course, my partner in crime over here, Ryan Popcorn Whitaker.
Yeah, hello.
The Bearcat. The Billadong.
Man, bear, cat.
Man, bear, cats. That is him right there. Did you know that that I named Ryan because he actually smells like popcorn?
I was getting a hit of something. I just didn't know what
that
was.
That's what that is.
I don't think that's popcorn.
Alex Davis, dude. A pleasure again to have you back here on the show, dude. We had some fun at the red carpet the other day. Learned a couple things about your sex life on the air.
And JT.
Yeah, and JT.
It just proved what I already knew.
Yeah,
that's all that did.
It was an affirmation. It was. But the most common question that we have gotten from the Stray Cast fans that needs to be directed to you, Alex Davis, is, does it ever piss you off that Chad Grigsby has the Mountain Dew wrap and you do not?
I'm not going to lie. I have a deal working with a distributor of Mountain Dew Buffalo Rock. But when I saw he had the Mountain Dew
Come on up there.
Yeah, come on.
That's fine. Just a web.
Give me that Mountain Dew.
Hashtag Mountain Dew.
I'm drinking Mountain Dew. But when I saw he had the
label this way, see?
It's
still a Pepsi product.
Pepsi product.
Yeah,
when I saw he had the Mountain Dew wrap, not gonna lie, I was pretty pissed.
Yeah,
pretty
pissed.
You're
like, what are you doing? It's like poaching.
Yeah, well, my thing is I've never seen you drink a Mountain Dew, so why all of a sudden do you have a Mountain Dew wrap boat? I mean, what is this?
And all of a sudden, and the dude, did you ever see his neck tattoo that says Mountain Dew now? Chad's?
No.
Yeah, he went all out.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It says do right across his neck.
No, I'm done. Done. There went my deal. Thanks, Chad Grigsby. Thank
you. Way to go.
I've ruined my kidney for like the last 20 years, and now you just come in there and steal the limelight. Yeah.
Exactly. So seriously though, I mean, all kidding aside, what is the count up to per day for Mountain Dews for you now?
I'm not going to lie, I drink a 12-pack a day. I have for 10 years.
A 12-pack a day for 10 years.
12-pack a day. I wake up and I drink Mountain Dew.
That's dedication.
That's the only thing. I drink water right before I'm going to sleep just to try to clear up the
good idea.
urinary tract of where it's yellow.
It's like when Keith Richards used to get blood transfusions so the substances that he used would work better the next day.
Yeah. I mean,
it's the same theory.
Like, people's like, I don't see how you can sleep while you drink that many Mountain Dews. I'm like, I don't see how you can function without drinking that many Mountain Dews.
Now, have you ever tried like the Mountain Dew energy shots? That's for kids.
That's just an advertising pitch. Just go full throttle.
Full throttle, straight up Mountain Dew.
Yeah, don't play around.
Yeah. Cold out of the cooler in the can.
Yeah, in a can. The bottles, no offense to a bottle, but it just don't taste the same.
You got to have that cool, crisp can.
No, it's that when you take the first hit in the morning, and it's bad to say this, but when you take the first hit in the morning, how it's just like that burn, you chase that feeling. It's like chasing the dragon all day.
It is.
That's what you do it for.
Yes, exactly. This is the Mountain Dew edition of Stray Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television with Alex Davis.
I think you and Seth Fighter need to have a Mountain Dew off.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
He don't want none.
He
don't want none.
He don't want none of that.
No.
He's got an intimidating haircut, though.
Are you?
That haircut don't scare nobody. It don't scare me.
It's a wig.
I mean, let's see him chug 6 and then we'll talk.
Yeah,
Then
that'll be a real no holds bar match.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Fighter man don't want none.
Right there. Seth's hair's a wig anyway. Me and him go to the same wig shop.
I thought it was a transplant.
We go to the same wig shop. It's the same place. It's the same place. Hey, do you get? Are you over the spinnerbait kid?
I mean, I'm over it, but everyone knows me as that just because that's how I kind of started. So I really can't say I'm over it completely because without it, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
But, some people's like, hey, you're a spinnerbait kid. I'm like, actually, my name's Alex. I do have a name. My daddy did name me Alexander as a child, so I do have. I didn't come out of the womb the spinnerbait kid.
The spinnerbait. What's up, spinnerbait? Go to detention immediately.
Oh God! But yeah, no, I'm not over it. I mean, it's catchy and people still know me, but I've transformed from the spinnerbait kid, the guide, to Alex Davis, FLW Tour Pro.
There it is, and I like that. You gotta like that too.
I mean, I'm not a kid. I'm 33.
Right.
I mean, I don't have any kids, but I am 33.
That's true.
I feel old.
You keep drinking all that Mountain Dew, and you'll never have kids.
Give me another hit. Hold on. Boom. There we go.
But dude, it's pretty cool that you just said it right there. I am now Alex Davis, FLW Tour Pro.
It's taken a long time to get
It's a nice ring, dude.
I like it. It just needs to be FLW Tour Champion.
Champion.
Yeah.
And dude, you had a great first day of this 2018 Forrest Wood Cup.
It was a day I'll never forget. I mean, when people say everything went right, like it went right. Like I felt like when I should have bobbed, I bobbed. When I needed to weave, I weaved. And it just, everything clicked. I mean, I'd go throw top water, catch one doing that, and then tell my marshal, hey, I'm going to go flip, catch a 4-pounder, go back to the top water, fill out my limit. I had 4. Then I said, let me go throw it a brush pile. Literally, first cast in a brush pile, kept a 15-incher. Said, let's go flip. Within 10 minutes, I catch a 3-pounder. 15 minutes ago, I said, let me run this pocket real quick. I got 5 minutes left. My last cast called 3.5-pounder.
Dude.
Everything went right.
Those are Rick Clunn moments.
Oh, I was in the zen.
Yes.
Yesterday, nothing went right. It was just a train wreck.
How were you feeling when you woke up that day to start the Derby, day 2? What was your head like?
I had one place flipping that I honestly thought if they would bite, I'd win. And I knew that was my only chance to win.
What were you flipping?
An ounce and a half weight with a punch skirt.
In the grass?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was fishing it was submerged hydrilla. What got me so excited, and now looking back, it kind of screwed me. But when I caught the 3-pounder, 3.25 the last day with like an hour to go, the water literally was black with them. There was like 20 with him. Like it was a school of fish. Like it was like Gunnersville.
Really?
So when I saw it, I was like, I told Dennis came in, I said, if they bite, I'll win.
That's the deal.
I mean, that's the deal. I mean, you look at how they're catching them, it's like, ooh, 1.25 pounds, ooh, 1 pound, ooh, 1.5 pounds. I mean, this was literally a school of 3 to 5 pounders. So, I mean, I knew that was what I needed to do. So yesterday, I kept staying near those flipping fish because I kept going back to them.
Sure, it's hard not to. It's like the first hit of Mountain Dew in the morning.
Yeah, no, I had to keep coming back. So I never would leave, like technically leave and just say, virtually to hell with them. I'm done with them. I'm not coming back. I'm just going fishing the rest of the day. I couldn't get them out of my head, so I would go throw topwater for an hour, and I would be in tune with my topwater. But after an hour of it, I was like, I need to go back to flipping because if I can just 10 minutes is all I needed with them.
Right.
And it just never.
Just didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Is there a condition you were kind of looking for that
you think
might have helped?
I wanted it slick and sunny. No wind, nothing, just slick and sunny. And it never really happened, but when I caught them, it was kind of windy anyway. So I didn't think it was going to bother them that much. I mean, I thought I'll catch them. Like I hit them the first time they didn't bite, the second time they didn't bite, but every time I went to them, I thought it's fixing to happen. I mean, I told my camera guy every time.
Got that mindset too because of what happened the day before.
Oh yeah, no,
right.
You have to.
Looking back, hindsight 2020. I could have went and fished brush piles and tried to catch a 5-pound limit, and I'd have made today, and I'd have been in 10th place, and I'd have had still a chance because obviously Clint Davis, I just looked, and he's leading, and he was in 10th.
Right.
But I wanted to slam the door.
Of course.
I wanted to. I wanted.
That's the goal. That's why you were there.
I didn't want
here.
I didn't want to do the whole. Let me come in 10th and then let me try to make up from 10th place. I mean, I wanted to slam the door and it'd be a blowout and it'd be like every time you win a tournament, it's usually doing something where people say, "Huh, I didn't try that in practice," and I thought I had that, but
yeah, and there's no way to know that. I mean, normally you guys catch them better every day. That's usually how it goes.
I honestly
and
thought
this is just going down.
No, I thought the first day I had like 13, and I told Dad before the last day, before yesterday, I said, I think I can catch 15 pounds.
Yeah.
And if I had caught, let's just say, if those fish would have bite, it'd be Alex Davis is going into the last day with an 8-pound lead at Ouachita. But now it's Alex Davis is talking the straight cast.
Alex Davis is not
a little
even
web
fishing.
show.
Not even there. Not even.
I liked the look on your face when yes. There it is right there. I like the look on your face when you thought you had like 11 pounds. And then they're like 13 pounds, and you're like, what?
No. My dad asked, he said, what do you got? And I said, 11, maybe 12. But my maybe was like, I doubt 12. I didn't want to sound like an idiot and tell him, I got 13, and it'd be 11 pounds, 2 ounces, and me be like, oh, wow. What a moron I was today. when Chris Jones puts them up there, when he puts them up there, I can see it real quick before he puts his hand on there, and it said 13.10, and I had to. I mean, I don't know if I can cuss on air, but
you can.
I had the look of, oh shit, I think I'm leading.
What a feeling, dude!
It was
elevated.
It was the coolest part is like when I look like I'm still a fan of the sport.
Sure you are.
Brian Thrift to me is the greatest angler that there's ever been, and I look up to him. And so many times you click on Bass Fan, and there's Brian Thrift's picture or Andy Morgan's picture. Those two are my heroes. That's who I've looked up to my whole life. So when I look on there and it's like Andy Morgan leads or Andy Morgan wins Angler of the Year, Brian Thrift wins another one, and I had that for 12 hours. And it's a feeling you'll never – I mean, that's why you do it, because you want to chase – I mean, money's awesome, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to complain. I made with a little bit of bonus money and the money I won yesterday, I won $16,000.
Not bad.
But
nice. That's a lot of Mountain Dew.
That money will be spent.
Right.
I know that.
Yeah, exactly.
That money is
channeled into the business.
I'm already thinking, okay, well, I got to pay that credit card bill. I got
Sure.
to pay that house payment. I got to pay this power bill. But I won't forget I have the YouTube link where I caught him the first day, and there's the Bass fan saying Davis leads day one. I'll never forget that.
That's always there.
Yeah.
And when I saw you backstage after the day one weigh-in, I just simply said to you, yeah, dude. And and you were on another planet.
No, it's a rush that unless you do it, you don't know how the feeling is. I mean, I hate to say you're chasing that feeling, but that's what you do it for, to chase the feeling. I'm willing to lose. I'm willing to put up $5,000 every tournament just for that one feeling, that one day.
Yeah. And every great angler does that. Yeah, every great angler has to get there.
You know, I
mean, like when I go home, someone said, "Oh, yeah, what are you going to do this week? Relax." I was like, "No, I got guide trips Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday."
Constantly.
But I don't do it. Obviously, I do it for money because that's how I pay my bills. But I do it for when one bites and I get to jack on him.
Yeah.
That 3 seconds of me getting to set the hook is why I do this.
Yeah. That's the thrill of the chase. It's right there. Now I want to bring you 360 here. So we talked about the day one. I want to know how you felt as an angler, the FLW Tour Pro, Alex Davis, and just Alex Davis, the human, after the weigh-in yesterday. Or let's take it to last night at the hotel room. What was going through your head?
Last night after day two?
Yeah.
It was about an hour. I didn't really want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to see nobody. I just wanted to just think about it. And then we went to dinner, luckily. I mean, my mom, my dad, and my great aunt, my great uncle, and my girlfriend, and one of my best friends right there standing. And a couple of my friends actually came to watch it. We went out to eat with Andy Morgan, his wife, and just sitting there talking. And I mean, it gets you over it because I get to talk to Andy, and he's my hero. So
yeah.
I'm sitting there like
calm you down a bit.
I'm sitting there like I'm kind of a fanboy right now eating with Andy Morgan, but I don't really want to express the feelings. I'm a fanboy. But, you know, him talking about the fishing, how tough it was, and he only had 3 bites the first day, you know, all of a sudden it kind of brings it back to reality. There's probably one of the top 2 anglers there's ever been in my generation. I mean, not counting like Bill Dance, Hank Parker, but
sure.
My generation, there's top 2, him and Thrift. And he's saying he had 3 bites all day one. So all of a sudden I can kind of deal with the fact that day 2 I had 3 bites and only one of them got it. So I was like, you know,
if it happened to Andy, it can happen to anybody.
Right.
You know, obviously.
It's you hear it all the time. Historically, this is the most humbling sport there is, dude. It's such a cliche, but it's so factual.
At Tennessee River, like at home, if I was leading after day one, I can honestly say going into day two, you know, it's one of those it's your ass.
Yeah.
I mean,
Gotcha.
I'm going to catch them. I don't know how many I'm going to catch, but I'm going to catch them. This tournament, literally going into day two, I was like, when people said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm just going fishing because I don't have a place where I know I can go and catch one. Like, it's not like, oh, I go over there and I'll catch me a limit real quick.
Right. You got nothing to go.
And, I mean, there's some, like, you know, Jason Atkins and stuff, they're catching limits of schooling fish and things like that, but I didn't come in here for schooling fish. Because, I mean, no offense to Atkins or anyone that did the schooling bite. I mean, obviously, they're fishing right now and I'm not. But they even said you can't win doing it. And I have for me, there's no reason to fish if you can't win this tournament.
Just
now,
to stay safe in a derby like this.
The tour tournaments, yes. Honestly, if you can go stay safe and catch top 30, you better is all I can tell you. But this one, there's no reason to think I'm just going to go catch me 8 pounds a day or try to catch 8 pounds a day because you go home. You get the same feeling I got. Well, I made the Forrest Wood Cup. At least it was guaranteed payday, but there's somebody out there going to win. And that's what I wanted to do.
Every time. On the FLW press release, it listed that evening, that after day one, it listed you throwing a worm, you throwing a topwater, and then a bait you didn't want to talk about.
That was flipping.
You were flipping. Okay.
The reason I didn't want to say it is because nobody was doing it.
Gotcha.
Zero.
Okay.
And I looked at the live feed today, and one of the top guys is flipping grass. And that's why I didn't want to say it after day one because I knew
that was special.
It was going to get out because there was video of it.
Sure.
But I didn't want it to get out day two because if there was 10 more people doing it, that was going to be 10 people. Might have been on one of the places I was fishing. Because I thought it was special.
Right.
Why
is it so tough? Why is this lake so tough right now?
I don't think this lake has a population of fish in it. Now, I could be wrong. I would like to come here in the spring and just see how many's actually in here.
Okay.
But if you're judging off of right now, it makes me think there's something up with the lake as far as a population goes.
Gotcha.
Now, they could be out there in them deep trees just roaming around chasing shad, and they're probably doing that because, like, they had videos of, Atkins was catching a bunch on a spoon out deep. And if he's catching 8 or 9 a day, there's probably 100 down there.
Right.
Because schooling fish are the hardest fish in the world to catch, and obviously he's mastered that game in this tournament on schooling fish.
Sure.
But like I said, if you catch 5, there's probably 100 down there. So it might not be a population issue, but just fishing the bank and fishing grass, it makes me think there ain't no fish in this lake.
Wow.
Yeah, it seems like, if you've got grass, whether the water's hot or not, it's going to be fishing that grass to catch.
At my home, if there's a creek, then that's where I was fishing, one big arm, and there's grass. Those fish load in that grass. Schools of them get in the grass. Here, literally, it was like I had one bite on that place. I fished 4 more places just like it, never had a bite.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's unreal.
Is it now a personal goal or a vendetta that is now in your brain, Alex Davis, that after what happened on day one and then what happened on day 2, is it a vendetta now that you need to get back here for redemption?
It's not just here. I just actually stopped by the FLW booth, and the tournament director for the BFL was there that I fish every year. And I said, I'll be there in a couple weeks. And he was like, what do you mean? And he was like, I'm fishing the BFL. It's a vendetta of I want to win everything. Like,
Gotcha.
the when I do bad, it pisses me off really, really, really bad. Like, it's a vendetta, not just to do good. I want to win.
It's a drive.
No, it's getting those trophies. I mean, until you actually win, like a super tournament or like last year I won the super tournament on Guntersville. The year before I won the super tournament at Chickamauga. The year before I come in second in the super tournament. The year before I come in second in the super tournament. It's a driving force of I want to make sure I win all those. And it's reason because my 2 heroes growing up on Guntersville was Marshall Deakins and Randall Tharp.
Gotcha.
And those guys won. And that's what they did.
Right.
So I want to be one of those guys. I want to be the guy when you show up at the boat ramp, people think, oh,
shoot, Alex
Yeah,
Davis.
turn around and go
God
home.
almighty, we just got beat already. I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
So it's not just wanting to win the Forrest Wood Cup. I want to win the 2-day BFL. If I fish a team tournament with Dad this fall, I want to make sure we win. I mean, it's just
Everything you fish.
I want to win.
Win them all.
I do not like the whole, I just played it safe and I fished for points. I did that at St. Clair, and I got my teeth kicked down my throat.
Right.
And I felt like an idiot driving home. Like, I literally had to tell Dad, I'll never do that ever again, because that was miserable.
Is it consuming, that feeling, where you that drive, that want to win? Is it completely consuming? Is it always there?
I think it doesn't affect people the way it affects me. Some people, it's what's bad is ever since we left ICAST, I've thought about this week every day. I will think about the BFL every day from the time we leave this tournament. And then I won't think about nothing because I ain't got a tournament to fish. I'll think about, like, killing deer all winter.
There you go. Back straps.
But then about December, I'll start thinking about Rayburn. And then we'll get done with Rayburn, and I'll start thinking about wherever we're going next, Toho. But it's like I get done with one, and then it's like, okay, all my time and effort thinking goes into the next tournament. I mean, like, I don't do anything at home. All I do is I go hunting, I go fishing, I come home, my girlfriend's there, we eat dinner, I play Xbox on Madden for a little bit, or watch YouTube videos fishing, or play my buddy. We do online Madden. What's bad is he's actually technically blind. He kicks my ass in Madden. I don't know how that works.
Wow. It's a Zen.
Yeah. He is the Madden expert right there. You're looking at him. Madden 2019. Check him out. But that's what I think about. I think about sports, hunting, fishing.
Yeah, and it's that because to be consumed by anything completely can be completely unhealthy.
Yeah,
Yet it makes for great athletes, are great competitors too.
I think you can look at people that it consumes. I don't think fishing consumes Andy Morgan. Hunting does.
Yeah, exactly.
But he has such a natural ability at fishing. It's unreal.
If you're exactly
it's
right.
unreal. Now,
Watch the guy.
It's unreal.
Just watching him mechanically, the way he reacts to things, he's like a deer.
Now, thrift fishing consumes Brian Thrift.
Yeah.
That's all he does. He does it when he's home. He fishes Tuesday night tournaments. I mean, if I was the locals, I'd tell him, you can't show up.
Enough of you.
Allowed.
Enough
Get
of
out
you
here.
already.
Yeah. Okay, mister, I've won $28 million on FLW, and you're coming to take our side money. But, I mean, it's because he has that's all he thinks about. He's consumed with bass fishing, which is, it's a breath of fresh air in the sport that there is someone that kids can look up to that says, this is what he does. I want to be like him. You know, Thrift is not consumed in the sponsor world of things. He has great sponsors, but
sure.
He's not the, I have 85 logos on my boat and truck, and I'm at every trade show in the world. He makes a living with a rod and reel in his hand. Yeah. And that's, to me, that's probably the coolest thing I've ever seen is he doesn't worry about sponsors to pay his bills. He worries about his rod and reel to pay his bills. And he's been, I mean, if you looked when Thrift came on the world, like when he was a rookie, what did he do? Win. He was the one that started the chatterbait craze.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
in Florida.
Yeah, and it's awesome that I've got to look up and got to fish with someone who truly has made a whole career and made his name not about how he can speak at a seminar or how funny he is, but how much he can kick everyone's
all
teeth
the time
down their throat at every turn.
Yeah. And how many people do you know that can punch grass mats with 3 Marlboro Lights in their mouth at the same time?
I think he smokes like. I asked Dad. We actually was talking about this. I said, "Wonder how many heaters damn Thrift has already smoked today."
Oh yeah.
He burns the darts, bro.
Well, he pulled up twice while we was fishing, and literally while we talked for like 7 minutes, I told Dad, I said, "How many cigarettes did Thrift just smoke?" He was like, "I think like 2." But he said, Dad said he's about like me. He doesn't smoke the whole cigarette. He smokes like a third of it and then throws it out and just lights another one. He said it's more of a habit thing.
Yeah, he saves the rest for the people that just got out of jail.
The funniest comment I've ever heard, Mark Rose at our dinner we had the other night. We had the FLW dinner.
Oh, yeah.
So Mark Rose was doing his speech, and he said he learns from everybody. He's a student of the game.
Yep.
He ended the speech with, I think this fall I'm going to go get 2 cartons of Marlboro Lights.
That was outstanding.
Yeah.
That was the
if you're making Mark Rose
greatest
say that.
comments I've ever heard. Because I'm thinking, I might buy 3. I mean, if it's that good.
He's good too.
If it works right there.
Yeah, well, if it's good enough for Brian Thrift, it's good enough for me.
Yeah, we learned that he learned to tie knots from JT Kenny, Snell knot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then he learned something about flipping hook from Andy Morgan.
Yep.
That's what's cool about like people that's willing to admit that. One thing I hate in the world of bass fishing or in general is when someone acts like, "Oh, I've learned all this on my own."
Right.
Just admit
It's
that
all from somewhere.
Yeah.
you learned it from somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you learned it
there's
from
so
somewhere.
many things that have been done. I mean, everything's been done.
I learned to
So,
throw a frog and
learned
flip
it from
from
somewhere.
Marshall Deakins on Gunners. He's the best frog and flipper there's ever been. He taught me
Plain and
everything.
simple.
He taught me everything I know. No, I've expanded it and worked on it and tried different colors and different hooks and different rods, but he taught me how. I don't want to get up here and say, "Oh, I love flipping." I'm the man at it.
I'm the D. Thomas of my era.
I did this all by myself. I mean, no, that's all I'm saying. My best friend is the one who taught me how to do this, and I love it.
There you are. What's the hook that Andy Morgan flips with? Do you know the answer to that?
He won't tell me that.
No?
I've never
I
asked.
asked him when we had him on the show, and he wouldn't tell me.
What? Why not? I don't
know.
get
It's,
it.
It's a special thing.
It's just
That's why he's Andy Morgan. That's why I'm Alex Davis.
I guess so.
We have options here.
I guess so. Is Lake Gunnersville your happy place? Everybody's got a happy place.
Chickamauga is my happy place.
Okay, Chickamauga.
Gunnersville's the best place I've ever been. But Chickamauga, my buddy right here, he's standing here. We went up there this year.
The Madden champ, you mean?
Yeah, the Madden champ.
Okay, gotcha.
He looks like a jogger right now. I told him that. So look at him.
He looks like a road worker, actually.
No, he looks like one of those bike riders.
Yeah.
He just needs like a
Do you
pair
work
of
for the state of Arkansas?
But Chickamauga is my happy place because when you catch, like, at Gunnersville, I never think I'm going to catch a 10-pounder. I've caught one in, like, 10 years of every day out there. At Chickamauga, I can go 2 or 3 days a year and I'll catch a 9-pounder. So to me, it's my happy place because it's new. Like, I don't get to go up there a lot. So when I go up there, it's all new to me. It's like, oh, I haven't been on the lake in 4
Right.
months, so I got to figure it out today. So it's new. It's the way I like to fish, and it's got absolute monsters. Gunnersville, it's not that it gets old. I love catching them, but
Sure.
it's the same repetitive. When I put the boat in the water, oh, we're going to go catch some over there.
You know.
We're going to go catch some over there. And when we get done there, we're going to go over here and catch some. But I like going to Chickamauga because it's like, God almighty, I ain't had a bite in 3 hours. And by the time I start the hook, and it's like, good God, what a fish.
What has a better population? You talked about populations of fish.
I think right now Chickamauga does. They did that big stocking program. They stock like millions of actual true Florida strains.
Yep.
In it.
Wow.
They have so many 2.5-pounders. It is honestly sickening how many fish is in that lake.
Really?
And like the other night, right before we come here, there was a 40-pound limit weighed in, and 35 was second place. I was like, God,
Are you
that guy,
kidding me?
That guy caught a 10-pounder, had 35 pounds, and he got beat by 5 pounds. I mean,
hell?
literally,
God.
that dude caught more. The second place got caught more than what it's going to take to win here.
That is insane.
3 days.
In
Yeah.
3
That
days.
is insane. Wow. And you could do everything on Chick, right? I mean,
You
it's
can-
so versatile.
You can fish deep. You can fish boathouses. You can fish laydowns. You can fish grass. I mean, we got a tour tournament coming up here next year, and if the grass will stay good, it'll be unreal because there'll be so many ways to catch them. And, like, literally, if you catch an 8-pounder, don't weigh it in for big bass. Just take your pat on the back and attaboy.
Is
Attaboy.
that going to break records?
No, like I had a guide trip up there a couple years ago, and it was snowing. I was miserably cold. I didn't have enough clothes on, so my hands was like numb. There was like claw hammers. I caught a 9, a 9.8, an 8.12, a 10.4, and my client had a 12.3 the same day.
Wow, that's a trip.
And it was snowing. Like, that place to me it's unreal. It's my happy place.
There it is, Lake Chick.
Yeah, my happy
Let's
The
go.
happy place.
I kind of want to go now.
Let's go.
Alex, anything you want to say to the Bass Fishing Galaxy before we get the hell out of here?
If I could say anything to the Bass Fishing Galaxy is go fishing.
Go fishing.
And love the sport for the sport.
what
Don't
we
do it.
do.
Don't do it because you want a jersey. That's one kick I get on. Don't do it because you want a jersey or stickers on your truck. Do it because you love the sport of bass fishing.
That's it.
If
It's
you
what
sit,
it's all about.
if you sit up at night and watch YouTube videos or FLW or bass, you're my kind of guy.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's the learning process.
If you look on how to make a resume at night, get your head back in
Yeah.
order.
The 10% is you are being tricked.
Yes. Yeah, because just so you know, if you don't catch a fish, you don't get sponsors.
Yes, that's exactly
Just
right.
keep that in mind.
This is Alex Davis, FLW Tour Pro, originally the Spinnerbait kid, transformed into the super being, and just an all-around awesome dude. Thanks so much,
Thank
Alex.
you.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man. Come back on the show soon. We'll Skype you in.
We'll do it.
Can we do a live Skype of you fishing? Ian, can we try and figure something like that out?
Why can't we?
On Chick?
Yeah, I think that would
Happy
be
place.
That would be
Yeah.
amazing,
Hashtag
right?
happy
Right
place.
from the happy place. Hey, put the power poles down. Don't go anywhere. I'm Pat Remlick, Ryan Whitaker, and of course Alex Davis, Andrew Ellenberger, the Ginger Ninja. We're coming back. More action from the 2018 Forrest Wood Cup. Yes, welcome back. The action continues from the Forrest Wood Cup 2018 live from the Hot Springs Convention Center. I'm Pat Remwick. This is Stray Cats Outdoor Cartoon Television, the glorified version of a bass fishing talk show. And world, we are proud to bring to you right now bass fishing superstar Jackson Roumbanis. Yes. Woo! Yes. And then this other guy named Fred. I'm not quite sure who he is. Some guy Fred's with Jackson. So, yes. What's up, Jackson? Welcome to the big time, dude.
Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah. Get used to it, man. Get used to it. It's a big deal.
Yeah, actually, thank you so much for inviting us out here on the show.
It's our pleasure,
We're here at
dude.
the Forrest Wood Cup, and Jack and I just recently moved to Russellville, about an hour and a half from here.
Very convenient.
Maybe 2 years ago, but we just built our place last year. And Jack is now 11 years old and is joined the Arkansas Youth Hogs Bass Club.
The Youth Hogs.
And I'm actually a proud sponsor.
You guys
of it
drive
myself.
Harleys or? No. Oh, it's bass fishing.
Bass fishing.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And oh, they're gangster though. No, I'm just kidding. But
OG.
He got to fish with a new partner this year. His first time being in a club himself, and we're excited. I mean, it's going to start up September.
September 22nd.
September.
First event at Lake Darnell.
Wow. And how does that work then? Like, do you go out in Dad's boat, or is it?
So Dad is allowed to catch 2. and
Okay.
he is my captain.
Gotcha.
And then me and my friend Jaden Spencer are allowed to catch 3 bass.
Okay, there you go. All right. And it's
Yeah.
on your lake.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
on Lake Darnell.
And you know it pretty good. You've been out there a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can catch some fish this year.
I think you will. I think you will. You got a good guide.
We actually fished a team tournament earlier this year. We did all right, huh?
Yeah, we got first place and then nothing 4th. And then I think the last one we did, we got like 8th.
It's not too
Man,
shabby.
top
You average it
10s.
out. That's like a 7,000%.
Not too bad. Not
Pretty
too bad.
good.
What he didn't tell you is we got stuck on a sandbar for maybe 2 hours.
Happens to the
That
best of
event,
us.
But we still managed to win that one. So
Dad
it's kinda
had to
cool.
get out and push you out of there.
Yeah, I also had to get out and push.
The truth is that Fred said, Jack, get out there and start pushing, kid.
We had to empty the water in the live wells. You know, it was up pretty hard on that sandbar. I missed a turn by a foot.
Missed it by that much.
Yep.
Good stop.
And we wedged ourselves pretty good, but we dug our way out and continued to fish the rest of the day.
So what do you think about this whole bass fishing environment, Jack? What do you I mean, how does it strike you?
I really like it. It's pretty cool, and it's a pretty good thing that it's the fastest growing sport right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
This is not planned. You are nailing it, dude.
well, like because it's the fastest growing sport as we speak. Like all the high school things are getting bigger and bigger, and hopefully in the near future some big things happen with bass fishing.
I think so. I think it's
Yeah.
coming. I think it is. This kid is amazing. I think it is coming.
I'll just let him talk. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
pretty much a
same.
natural. So.
Yeah.
Fred, you can just go sign autographs
Yeah,
out
sure.
here.
We need to get him set up with a YouTube channel. I
There-
think that's the next step.
There's a new
for
sheriff
Jack.
in town, apparently.
Yeah.
So you've been around this, I mean, your whole life, Jack. I mean, let's face it, your dad, he's kind of a big deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you've been around this deal, so you're learning firsthand. So obviously, you learn things from your father, but where else do you learn about professional bass fishing? What are your sources?
I learned from YouTube and Bassmaster Live and FLW Live.
There you go.
And I also just learned it like from me, I guess. Like after trying different things in the pond, seeing what works and what doesn't work, I kind of gained information like that.
Trial and error. That
Yeah.
He's actually
Doing
had
it right.
opportunities to sit some of the major league events with like Ott Defoe. He showed you how to tie some feathers once. And
Yeah.
I mean, he's getting some good experience.
I'll bet.
Stuff that I would like to
Yeah.
go see.
Yeah.
You know what he's doing, but
firsthand.
He's living in a bass school.
he pretty much is.
Where'd you learn how to fish a frog?
That guy right there.
What guy's he talking about?
Hey, I'm not gonna kid you. Your dad's instructional video, our class, let's call it, on the Bass University on frog fishing. Dude, you gave it away.
Yeah, pretty
Unreal.
much. Yeah. I explained it pretty good, I think.
Maybe too much.
Maybe, but you know, it's fun. I mean, it's exciting. It's probably one of the funnest ways to catch a bass, and I'm excited because I came out with that Boom Boom Frog this year, and we're working on a new popping version, which we got the very first and only prototype. You want to explain what happened on that deal? So we got a little pond in our front yard, and it's got pads and everything froggy you can ask for. And
Your own little frog Disney World.
Yeah, a little froggy land. And Jack went down there and give it a whirl, and
I landed it in a tree.
and I'm looking out there in the morning. I'm like, what is Jack? At first, we just saw a bear out there.
Really?
Like walking across, yeah. Like,
I think I saw that on IG
yeah,
or
Julie
something.
saw it. Yeah. So I'm looking. I'm like, there's a bear in a tree over there. It's Jackson. He's up in the tree climbing over the pond.
little Jackson bear.
But he got the bait back, so it's safe and secure.
Because it was the only one?
The only one. Yeah. We can.
The thing, whenever I was climbing the tree tilted all the way. I mean, it wasn't powerful at all. The very top of the tree was in the water, and my feet were like touching the very ends at a second.
That is outstanding. But the bottom line is you saved the prototype, which in fishing, prototypes are everything.
Pretty much.
So now when you fish your first derby here coming up on September 22nd, you could say, I caught it on a prototype poppin' frog coming to the market soon. Practice that.
Go for
Right
it.
now?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Look at the camera and say it.
I caught it on the Boom Boom Poppin' Frog. The first ever prototype.
There it is. Woo, nailed it. They love you. They love them.
I'm just excited. I mean, as a father growing up and having a kid that loves to fish, and two of them that love to fish, but seeing that he's got the same kind of passion I did as a kid, and being able to pass it along. I mean, that's what it's all about.
And
awesome.
you can see we just had Alex Davis on here, and he was talking about drive and dedication.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see it's evident here with Jackson. And what's cool about today, you brought it up, bass fishing is growing, Jackson, and things are happening. It's a magic time in bass fishing. But like when your dad and I were younger, we had to wait like by the mailbox for Bassmaster magazine.
Bass Pro Shop catalog.
Bass Pro Shop catalog. Yeah.
What color is next year's going to be?
Yeah.
The cover. It's a
I went
green,
right-
black, yellow.
I went right to the picture of the hot ladies in the camo. Is what I did. But anyway,
Sit there
that's
with your
another-
marker and circle
that's
everything in there.
That's another story.
Oh, man, I had that sucker marked up. I mean, as soon as I got it, you couldn't talk to me for the next 6 hours. I was going through everything, colors.
I got that thing taken away from me so many times at school.
I had a
100%.
rotary dial phone, so we'd call them in.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how
you were
long
like,
ago
I'm
this
not
was."
filling out this form. Product number 16835-B2, quantity of 4.
Man's jelly worms.
Auger tail worm. There it is. But no, you have so many sources to learn from, Jackson. Not only your father, but you said it. There's YouTube. There's Bass Live. There's Bass University. There's FLW Live. All of these sources are just helping contribute to the mind of young anglers everywhere, and particularly you right now. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it because, I mean, I like also trying stuff. Even if they say it doesn't work on TV, I like trying it. But then if, like, I watch it not work like 100%, and I see it like the lure maybe tilt or something like that, then it would just tell me something that I don't have to buy. You know?
There you go. What if it only works 60% of the time every time?
I don't know.
You never saw Anchorman?
What?
Not yet.
Yeah.
He's still watching cartoons.
So that's okay. That's all right. This is our cartoon television.
That's
so
right.
It's pretty
That's right.
close. It's pretty close. We're animated. We're very animated. So what's your favorite kind of combo for fishing with? You throw bait casting rod and reel?
I like using a spinning rod.
Okay.
I'm Genesis 2.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
I rod. Yeah.
I rod.
Yeah.
And wait, what did I say?
He likes Ima lures.
Yeah.
I do
It's
like
fun.
Ima.
It's fun to
It's all right.
say too.
Yeah, he's mixing it all up. It's
The
good.
I'm a rod. Okay, so.
It's a new one coming out. Prototype.
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 Yeah. But no, I like using the iRod, the Genesis 2, with a Daiwa Cabela's spinning reel.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, Daiwa makes the Cabela's brand.
Yep.
You know they.
Yeah.
So.
There you go.
He likes those reels quite a bit.
So we all know, the world knows that your dad's nickname is Boom Boom, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if you were gonna have a nickname, now you can't use Boom Boom, because that's your dad's nickname.
You go Lil Boom.
Well, what would you want to be, Jackson? What would your nickname be?
So my dad, forever I was known as Boom Boom Jr.
Okay.
Like that's what my dad called me, until I just found out that, I didn't just find it out. I was thinking about my name, and apparently, so Jackson and then Roumbanis, J.R.
J.R.
I didn't notice it.
J.R.
So, no matter what, I'm just going to keep that nickname, but I have
Boom Boom
two
Jr.
different reasons to have
J-
it.
there it is. Boom.
And then his hashtag, he's already got a hashtag.
Excellent.
And it's Hammerjack.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good
So
one.
he's-
Hammerjack.
Yeah, he's got a sponsor with New Threads Clothing.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And Sarah over there has been sending little gift packs here and there, and they've got shirts that say hashtag Hammerjack on it.
That is awesome.
So I think that's pretty cool.
And the last time you were on the show, we talked about bass fashion, and there it is right
he
there.
is. Yep.
Yeah.
He's supporting it.
It's bass fishing fashion.
That's right.
So what's going on in Fred Roumbanis' life right now? What are you up to? bud?
I'm actually just getting prepared for the next elite tournament. We're heading out. I'm actually heading out next week, Wednesday. I'm going to try to get up there and fish a little bit of Lake Ontario.
Gotcha. Get your feet wet a little.
Yeah, because we're fishing St. Lawrence River, and there's a cutoff where you cannot get into Lake Ontario. So we can go pre-practice or practice, on the where you're not allowed to fish. So,
Right.
So I'm gonna go, just gotta get a feel for smallmouth again. We just came off some cool smallmouth fishing up north, and it's one of those tournaments where a lot's on the line because they instead of postponing the last elite tournament, Chesapeake Bay. Yeah,
Yep.
sorry, I couldn't think of it.
No.
And because of flooding, they've pretty much canceled it, and that took away some valuable points. So, kind of concerned because I'm 59th right now. With 2 tournaments, I think I could have,
Sure.
a couple top 50s, and I'm in.
Now you got to really kick ass.
A
right
top
now.
20, and I'm in.
Right.
Which is doable. I've had a couple good tournaments this year. I've had a couple bombs, so I just need to go out there and work hard. And I really think I'm gonna need to focus on smallmouth. I've caught them there before. We've been there 3 times. My best finish is 16th. So with smallmouth, and
Got to go smallmouth.
last time I went there, I spent a lot of time largemouth bass fishing, and it kind of burned me. So yeah, I'm gonna have to pick up the spinning
You're
rods.
committing to it.
I'm in my mind, I am. But
Okay.
who knows what'll happen when I get there?
Right.
I got that frog, and I love that
I
frog.
know that's a hard one.
I know it's
That's
tough.
It'll get you in trouble.
Do
It
you
can-
ever?
it can, but
Are
it
you
can
ever in
be rewarding.
situations where you catch smallmouth on a frog?
I've caught a few on it. Yeah, I've caught them. I caught some at lacrosse on it actually.
Yeah.
It's crazy because you don't expect it to happen.
Right.
But,
And
but
it's
it happens. I mean, it's a great universal topwater bait. I've caught spotted bass on it.
Really?
Yeah. Back when I lived in California, there used to be the little mans and had a little curly deal on the back.
Yeah.
Of it, the little kicking legs.
Yep.
And I'd take that a real clear, glittery one, and I would bomb that across the points with a little bit of breeze and just kind of rip it on the surface, and I'd catch spotted bass.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, a frog is a universal bait. So mostly largemouth though.
Absolutely.
And pike and Grinnell and everything else. But
It's a good Grinnell bait.
yeah, it's a wonderful.
Shoe picks.
Well, you know, when we were at La Crosse, I actually caught the state record.
Really?
I had it on a Boga grip scale, weighed over 14 pounds, and I released it. Didn't know that the record was only 13.
Wow.
So I just, you know, I mean, there's not much I can do about it. I did get on camera, but I mean, not that I'm really interested in breaking that record, but
We were hanging
still,
out.
It's record books.
it's
Put your
you
name
know,
in there.
We were hanging out at the Copper Penny Saloon last night over here.
Oh,
and,
yeah?
and I met a girl from Louisiana, and she didn't know what a shoe pick was.
She's not from Louisiana. She's,
That's what I'm
did you
saying.
ask her what a sakale was?
Yeah, she didn't know any of that. She knew crawfish etouffee.
Well, then she
Yeah.
may have moved there.
And she knew a voodoo medicine woman named Phyllis.
Okay.
But
yeah,
but she didn't know what a shoe pick was.
yeah, that's a
Do you know what a
That's
shoe
a
pick
staple.
is?
A fish?
It's a fish, yeah.
That's like a Grinnell.
Yeah, there you go. See, yeah, it's a dogfish,
Dogfish.
mudfish, Grinnell. Those are evil fish. You know that.
Yes.
They're,
yeah. Don't lip them.
yeah, don't do that. Did you ever see the video of your dad being scared that he was gonna when he won that derby and he was digging in the grass?
Trying to
Oh
get
yeah,
sugar.
and he picked.
Sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a piece of Bassmaster history right there,
I
Jackson.
really honestly thought that was a Grinnell when it bit a shoe pig. And because that fish bit me every day in the same spot, and I had it on once, it came out, but when it hit it every day, I mean, it was the most explosive blow up. So, I mean, there was no mistaking it as a bass. When it hit this time, it just kind of sucked it under the mat. And I was like, ooh, yeah, that I don't know.
They do that.
And I did catch a couple of them up there during that event, so I really thought it
Did you
was.
see how white his face turned when he was going for
Yeah,
that
I
fish,
just didn't
Jackson?
want to lose a thumb. It's funny because a couple other anglers, I know John Murray's one of them, he's like, dude, you had a $100,000 fish on and you wouldn't reach down there and grab it? I'm like, yeah, well, I don't know what it costs for a new thumb, but
I need these
my-
hands.
Probably more than 100 grand.
it wasn't on my mind at the moment.
How can I tie knots? I need this.
Luckily, I got her pinned really good in the tree, and I was able to get her out. That was a weird deal because any other time that fish would have gotten off, or was off, and it was still on there. I mean, it was like, are you kidding me?
It's meant
So
to be.
cool.
It's meant
It
to
was
be.
And I waited for that bite. I mean, I did not purposely go back to that spot till about 1:45 because that's when, you know,
Right.
timing is everything on these fish, and especially with the frog. I mean, you can really predict. I love getting blow-ups in practice and looking at what time, you know, scenario, and then rolling back up that same time because I feel like that's one of the best, most reliable fish you can catch again.
And what is that? We talked
Is
about
it- yeah.
with Suggs about that timing. It's like, is that like, you know how humans are creatures of habit? Like
Yeah.
we get up every day, maybe our biological clock gets us up at 6:45, and then the first thing we do is we might put the coffee pot on, and then we read a little bit. You know, is that do you think it's similar with other creatures like fish? Is that the deal?
Absolutely. I mean, you got a lot of things going on. The sun's getting just right. The surface is getting hot. The bluegill are coming up, brim popping. I mean, there's just so many little things going on. The dragonflies are, you know, going around. It's a conditioning process. I've seen it. I used to have a bass in a pond, a 6-pounder, and he would literally feel the vibrations of me walking out to that pond.
Really?
And would come right up to the edge of the rocks, and I could open a can of cat food with a spoon and go like that, and she would eat off it.
Wow.
So I mean, a bass. No, this is even weirder because we'd also catch lizards and stuff. You know, we'd just feed the bass whatever, mice.
Okay, sure.
And all of a sudden, one day I went out there and there was a bird just laying there. My cat had watched this and was trying to feed the bass.
Really?
So talk about like a whole conditioning. I mean, it's crazy. So.
Where was when you were in California?
Yeah, when I lived in California.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know what my cat was. I mean, it was like feeding the bass.
That's
I guess.
amazing.
I mean, that's all I can think of because there was a bird right in the exact same spot where we've been feeding.
Now
it.
that would go viral.
That would
go
That
viral,
was way
yeah.
before YouTube.
The cat that feeds bass.
Yeah, it's cool. And
Sounds like a Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah. So, yep.
That is awesome.
Hey, with that timing thing, when you were talking about going back at 145,
Yeah.
is that with the frogfish? Do you think that's got to do with the sun angle, where it gets just right, and
Sure.
that's when they get under
absolutely.
there?
I think everything. I mean, it had everything to do with why that fish went under that cover at that time of the day. I think throughout the day it probably early in the morning it was coming out on a little bit of a shad spawn, feeding on them shad, and then it comes under, and that's where the big brim, you know, get up under and just kind of hanging out. And you cross its path, it's an aggressive fish. So, I mean, when I caught that fish, I remember because it had good teeth in it, like it was a shad eater.
Yeah.
So
You know
when you catch them, when it's all dull,
Lips are a
and
little
stuff,
rough. Yeah.
yeah, you know it's a crawfish, or bottom.
They actually stick you a little bit. You know that's the fish eater.
Yeah, it's a fish eater.
100%. Hey guys, thank you so much, especially to you, Jackson, for coming on this show. And if we're still around in 10 more years when you're an Elite Series professional, winning all kinds of derbies, setting all kinds of records, making things happen, shaking and baking, you got to come back on the Straight Cast show.
Okay.
Hashtag Hammerjack.
Hashtag Hammerjack.
Hashtag Hammerjack.
That's right, Fred. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
It's awesome. Always a pleasure with
Thank
you.
you.
Hey, I'm Pat Renwick. More action from the 2018 Forrest Wood Cup. As we come back, keep it locked. Put the power poles down. Don't you go nowhere. Welcome back to Straight Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television. I am your host, Pat Renwick. 2018 Forrest Wood Cup action happens live, continues from the Hot Springs Convention Center. And we're pretty excited to bring to you right now, in my eyes, the Duke of crankbait fishermen. Ladies and gentlemen, warm studio audience, round of applause for David Fritz. Yes. The big Duke. What's up, Dave?
Oh, just hanging out.
It's good to have you back.
Glad to be here.
You are in Sport Expo Show Wonderland right now.
Yep, we are.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it's always cool to have you on. And I mean that sincerely. I mean, like, when I think of crankbait fishermen, there's a few guys I think of, and definitely, you've heard it a million times. You are right up there in that list, man. You are the Duke of cranking.
I have throwed one before.
Yeah, I heard that about you. I heard that about you, man. And summertime is the perfect time for fishing a crankbait. Well, in my opinion, all year round is a crankbait time.
Yeah, it is. You got about, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks when it's not real good. That's when they're spawning. Any other time, you can catch them with a crankbait.
Back to it.
Oh, yeah.
Back to it. And I got to ask you about this right off the bat, because I was so fascinated by this last time you were on the show when you talked to us about cranking with braid.
Yeah.
And that seemed just so ridiculous to me. But it works for you.
Well, I don't know what's ridiculous. I mean, you got zero stretch. You can fill your bait 100 times better. And, the problem with most braid is you got to find a braid that you can cast. If you find something you can cast, you're going to become a better crankbait fisherman just because you can fill your bait so much better.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And that, of course, goes along with the rod and reel setup, too.
It does.
The glass rod.
Yep. Yep. With my cranking rod and the obvious, non-infinite and reverse reel that Lehew makes is a BB1 called a multi-stop.
Gotcha.
That's good as it gets. You want to be a better crankbait fisherman, it's almost you have to have that, or either a real old reel that doesn't have infinite and reverse.
Like the old Lehews.
Yep. Or old Abu's, a Daiwa made them. Everybody made them once upon a time.
Right.
But yeah, it's.
And what's that do? It's just that little bit of extra bit of.
Well, what it is, the handle will go back. It's not infinite and reverse. So the infinite and reverse clutch actually takes a lot of the feel out of the reel.
Really?
Yeah, when you're winding a spinnerbait, a chatterbait, a crankbait, and when you can get that feel back, that's the ticket.
Okay.
And that's what happens. You feel a crankbait more through your reel than anything else, more than rod, more than anything else. So anglers are making it harder on themselves by buying some of the new reels that has the infinite and reverse, because you can't feel with it. You can feel when it gets close to you, and you start feeling with the rod, but when my bait hits the water and I make 2 cranks, I want to feel it.
And what makes that happen? What?
Because your reel becomes 100 times, 1,000 times more sensitive when you take that clutch out of it.
Really?
Yes, absolutely, no question.
I think that's the first time I ever heard that.
My mind is blown.
Yeah, absolutely. My mind was blown last year by the braid cranking thing, and now the infinite anti-reverse deal right now.
We call it a multi-stop, and what it is it's a 6-pin system that keeps your handle from going all the way back. The old Lehew's and the old reels, your handle used to go about halfway back. Well, this one just goes a little over maybe a 20% back.
Gotcha.
And so it's more comfortable, and it's almost like fishing an infinite reverse reel, but you have the feel back in the reel.
Gotcha. And are you still subscribing to the low gear ratio?
Oh yeah, it's 5:1 to 1, 21 inch per turn, and no matter what the ratio is, the big key is the inches per turn. So you want to hang in there somewhere around 21 as close as you can.
Gotcha. And that's for all cranking, not
That's
just
for
deep
all
cranking, square
yes.
bills, shallow, everything.
Yep, it doesn't matter.
You're just going to wind faster if you need to?
Yeah. If you stay between 21 and 25, you're probably okay with a 25. But that's starting to get fast. That's 4 inches difference. And you're sitting there and you're counting 4 inches every time you turn that handle. It actually adds up to a lot.
Yeah, it sure does.
And you start losing a lot of fish and missing a lot of fish, then you need to slow down. You need to make sure you got that 21 inch per turn reel. And
you see a lot of Elite Series anglers, FLW Tour pros, cranking now with even the 8-to-1s and the 7s.
9-to-1s.
It doesn't make sense to me. It seems like so much extra work. Like Aaron Martins, who's an amazing fisherman.
It's like riding a bike uphill in 5th gear.
Takahiro Omori, a great crankbait fisherman, throwing a 9-to-1 crankbait reel. How does that happen?
Well, one thing, they can't be winding it real fast. There's no way. You're going to lose more fish than you catch.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, you can wind it fast for slightly and then stop it or slow it up, and enough to let the fish catch up with it. And a lot of it is where you're at and what you're fishing. But day in and day out, 100% of the time, a slower reel is going to catch more of them. You're going to catch more of the fish. Not necessarily get more bites, but you're going to catch more of them.
I gotcha. And how do you account for that? Like, I recall hearing a story from another amazing crankbait fisherman, Rick Clunt, and he drew Fred Young in a tournament. You've probably heard this story before, and what he was fascinated by was that Fred Young was actually burning that crankbait as fast as he could back to the boat, that old Big O.
Yeah.
So it's a total different school of thought, because, or maybe you still do this, but just with the lower gear ratio reel.
Well, I like to wind pretty fast. The key to crankbait fishing is making your bait lively. You don't want it to be lazy, and you don't want it blistering so erratic that you're going to lose a lot of the fish. But you got to wind it fast enough to make it lively.
Gotcha.
It's a happy medium.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And a lot of that has to do with your line. And people don't realize that your line, when it ties down to that bait, well, when your bait's vibrating, moving from side to side, that line is too.
Sure.
So the bigger the line you put on there, the more liveliness you take out of that lure.
Slows it down.
It does. It slows it down.
Makes it more sluggish.
Yeah.
So what is the ideal braid to crank with?
I like 10-pound diameter, and actually on minnow-type baits, like our bad shad from Berkeley and some of the shad baits, I like 8.
Okay.
So 10-pound diameter, meaning like 30-pound break strength?
Yeah, what I use is 30-pound braid that's 10-pound diameter.
Okay.
Yeah, the new, actually Berkeley has some new line out, the X9.
Gotcha.
Good God Almighty, what line? I mean, that stuff is incredible. And the spider wire ultra cast is really good crankbait line too. You can throw it; it doesn't jam up down your spool, and those are the 2 ultimate braids. If somebody out there wants to start trying braid, and believe me, when you be prepared when you start trying it, you're going to want to put it on every time you go fishing.
Nice.
I got to imagine, too, when you go up north and you're snatching those things out of the grass, that braid's got to help a lot.
Oh, it does. It's amazing. I mean, that braid will cut through grass like nothing. Better than any monofilm that's ever been made.
Yep.
And fishing with the braid, is that like All the time? If you're throwing a crankbait now, are you throwing braid all the time?
All the time.
All the time, because I know you hate fluorocarbon.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm not using fluorocarbon.
Just not happening.
No, not ever.
not even mono.
Yeah, I use mono some.
Okay, and when do you do that?
Mono would be if you got a really flat day out there and you're fishing in water that you can see 5 and 6 feet deep with, and you're having to wind slow.
Gotcha. And what do
That's
you
the only time.
Are you using like the Trilene XT or the big game?
Sensation.
The Sensation you like? Okay,
Yeah.
that's a copolymer.
Yeah,
Okay.
copolymer.
Yeah, that's a great line.
Yep, low stretch.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Yeah, low stretch.
I've been with Berkeley for years, and one of my favorite lines. I throw all my top waters on the Sensation. I mean that's it's a good deal. And I know you've gone over this a million times, and the reason I do this is because we reach new people all the time. With this whole crankbait phenomenon, and you being one of the best in the business, the rod action, that importance of that soft parabolic fiberglass cranking rod.
Well, it is. A lot of things have to go together. The parabolic really helps in when a fish really makes those hard pulls and hard head shakes. It absorbs that. You can run your drag looser, and by running your drag looser, if you've got a bass that is hair-lipped, you can catch him.
Right.
Yeah.
Just barely skinned.
Yep.
Just barely skinned.
So you're running your drag loose, so it'll pull all the time?
Yeah, I tell folks you can almost pull it out with your lips.
Really?
Wow.
But when you raise the rod up, it takes a whole lot more to pull it out. And if the fish makes a surge, you just point the rod at him, and it's like he's not even hooked. Another thing is, like if a fish is going to come up and jump, point your rod at it.
Like a tarpon.
And he'll go back down. You want to see a fish, you hold that rod up and you crank hard as you can, and you'll get to see him.
Yeah, he gonna go.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's gonna.
The problem is, a lot of times that's the only time you get to see him.
Yeah. And I remember seeing you do that on an FLW derby you won on Okeechobee.
Yeah.
When you won it cranking.
Yep.
And you were actually giving me anxiety and panic attacks during that tournament with the amount of time that you took to land those big Florida bass.
Yeah.
I was like, get it in, David. Come on, do it. It was right there.
He did.
Yeah, and you did get it in. I was like, oh my God. I think I even remember Jerry McInnes was commentating at the time, and he was like, come on, David, get the fish in.
We'll be back after this commercial break with the landing.
And then here comes Jerry in a helicopter, and you're still fighting the fish. At the time. That was a pretty unique tournament.
Yeah.
That was. You were fishing like dynamite holes or something.
Yeah, I was fishing where all that shallow water met something that was different. A little bit deeper water. Could be rocks. It could be a piece of trash. But, yeah, it was.
That was a unique time for Okeechobee.
Yeah. And, you have to have the right conditions in Florida to do that. Obviously, when a lot of the fish are bedding and they're up real shallow, low water tends to keep them closer to those areas.
Sure.
And it makes it a little more fair for me.
Not a lot of derbies won on crankbaits in Florida.
Right.
There are some. Hey,
Right.
you had a pretty good first day over at Lake Weho, whatever the heck it's
Yeah,
called.
first and second day.
First and second
real
day.
Good.
Yeah.
And actually, I should have done it the third day, but that's one of these deals we're talking about. I lost all the fish. The first day I lost 3. That was 4+. The second day I lost 4. That was 4+. The last day I lost 5. And weighed in 1.
Oh, and describe what you were doing.
Yeah. Well, I was actually dropping a war pig, and it was almost impossible to catch one. And a war pig is a lipless Berkeley
I love
crankbait.
them. Love them.
And I was also Carolina rigging, and I was the deal was the fish were not on the bottom, and everybody's asked me how in the world was I catching those and nobody else was catching them. The fish wasn't on the bottom. If you threw a Carolina rig out there and he didn't bite it going down, you just wind it 7 or 8 times and let it fall, and then bite it.
Really?
Wow.
It was crazy
That's
way
nuts.
to fish. Yeah, that's nuts.
Never heard of
Your
that.
line just goes slack? You're
Yeah.
rewinding it, drop it, and it goes go?
Yeah. And
Wow.
then I'd bite it.
Swimming the Carolina rig for suspended fish.
Never heard of that.
That's a new one. But that war pig, is probably my favorite.
It's the best
wickless
drop bait out there.
The
If you want-
action it
if-
has is
if,
nuts.
If you want to throw a bait that will flat catch them when they want a bait that's falling in front of them, that bait is relentless. They just cannot stand it.
And when the water is very cold, that 1/4 ounce War Pig, dude, we don't talk about it a lot because it's that good.
Yeah, a lot of people don't talk about a lot of the Berkeley hard baits because they're that good, but the word is getting out. I mean, I know the Bad Shad, the first year we come out with them, I know in North Carolina alone, the first 4 tournaments was one on them, and nobody knew what he was winning with. He called me up. I was at Spirit Lake working on some baits. He says, I got to have some more of these. And just never, it's like everybody else. When you win a tournament, you don't want to let out something that's new. You don't want to let it out into the market, but it's catching on.
So when you go to Spirit Lake to design baits, I'm always fascinated about the mad scientists at Berkeley that are over. I mean, obviously you do on the water development, but they have such an extensive research laboratory there too, man. And how do you get involved in that?
Well, they've just got a facility, bar none, that nobody else can compete with. We have a 15-foot swimming pool, long, I don't know, it's 60 feet, 30 yards or something like that. We also have a flow tank that we can see how the bait is acting under every speed condition of winding it.
Gotcha.
Top, bottom, side, you can see the whole bait. And you can make small changes and actually see that. We have to film it, but we can see that. We even go out in the back, in the yard, and throw baits just to see how far we can throw it and how much better it throws than other baits. So, and then we take it to the lake. And, that's the ultimate test. I know when we made the 25.5, and you're probably familiar with that.
Yep.
It's a normal size crankbait that runs 25 feet deep.
Exactly.
Well, we go out there and we go to, I don't remember which lake it was. It was North Spirit or something like that. And we're out there fishing. I said, boys, we got to find a deeper lake. I mean, it was 24 feet deep, and you can't hit the bottom. I mean, you're hitting the bottom, and you can't tell how much is hitting the bottom.
Right.
So we end up going to 3 different lakes before we got a lake deep enough to test that lure.
And you don't even need a long line those 25.5s.
Yeah, you don't.
And when you test these baits, are you testing them on different lines as well?
We are mostly 10-pound tests because I think I sort of use 10-pound tests as a standard, as the, if you need to get a little bit deeper, you can go with 8. If you need to bring it up a little bit, you can go with 12.
Okay. And that brings up, we're doing this live, and we have some people asking some questions here. Mark Harmon wanted to know does using braid cut back on the depth that your crankbait runs?
No, if you use braided line, now, even though you got 30-pound tests, it still should be 10-pound diameter.
Okay.
Some braids are 20-pound test, 10-pound diameter. As long as you stay with that 011, it's the same as mono. It's the same as everything.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
this is all about the diameter and how far you can throw it. If you can't throw something far, you're not going to get depth.
Okay.
You got to be able to cast it a long way.
Makes sense.
Good.
It makes sense. And so when you're still doing the research and development, like you talked about filming the baits, and if you see that, let's just take the Bad Shad for example. If you see it not behaving correctly, does that trigger the response that maybe we need to adjust the lip angle or maybe move the line tire? And how do you determine something like that?
Well, it takes it's a lot of work, and you think about it day and night. Even when I'm not at Spirit Lake, you're thinking about what to do. But I'll tell you the goal on the Bad Shad. The Bad Shad was, I'd figured out a long time ago, I had this one bait, and the tail made a circle. And if we could make that tail make a circle, that put off a different sound. And fish would come to it like 100 times better.
That's a crankbait you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is it a wood one that you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about the Bad Shad. The Bad Shad, the tail
No,
actually...
I mean the old one that you had.
Yeah, the old one was a wood one.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and it was pretty much handmade. I mean, this was a bait that I'd got somewhere and played with it, and it was like, man, the best bait ever. I mean, you know, a shad
Cherished.
wrap. I mean, all the shad baits wouldn't even in the same ballpark with this bait.
Something special.
And because all shad baits make a slice, they make a slice. Ours makes a little round circle, so it's putting off a different sound.
Gotcha.
2 weeks in that flow tank for me to get that. That's how long it took.
Really?
And that's all about changing where the pull point is, the lip angle, and I'm gonna tell you some stuff that nobody knows. You know, moving the lip up on the bait or down on the bait can change everything.
Absolutely, it can.
It's you know, everybody, you look at a crankbait and the lip comes out of it, you don't even think anything about it, but you can move that lip up or move it down and totally change the action of the bait.
100%.
You're like a
it
mad
does.
scientist.
He is.
And it, you know, most crankbait manufacturers don't even know anything about that. But
But hey, I'm a crankbait freak myself, and that's
Yeah.
why I asked you about lip angles, because
Yeah.
I know it's everything right there.
yeah, and the pull point is the biggest thing, and that's to get it. I can walk around this show here at the FLW and look at a crankbait and tell you pretty close to how good it could be, and you'll be surprised. A lot of the new baits, they catch fisherman's eye, and they catch a fisherman, and that's about all they're going to catch. In all honesty, the pull points are off on 90% of the new baits that I see.
You can tell by looking at them.
Tell by looking
Tell
at
by
them.
looking.
Yep.
And the thing too, I mean, once you got that bad shed to do that little circle, what was your reaction?
I told Jeff Williamson, he was the guy that hired me at Berkeley, and I said, this is it right here.
That's the deal.
And, you know, then we come out with it and it wins the first 4 tournaments that year, and I knew it was going to. I mean, I knew what it was going to do. And then, you know, like the dredger and the diggers that we have now, there is no better bait in the right situation. There's not anything that will touch those baits. That dredger, we have took a small bait the size of a 200 Bandit, and we can make it run 10 or 11 feet deep by the way water flows over it.
Wow.
It's crazy.
And, you know, we've done things, we've took crankbaits actually to the next level. We really have. And I impressed myself.
Nice.
I did.
That's a big deal right there if
I
that
mean,
happens.
The dredger, I made 28 different bodies trying to make it get down and not whine so hard. And then all of a sudden, a little girl there on our office, you know, we got the crankbait hall there. There's 4 of us, Keith Ostrom and Dan Spangler, myself, and the lady that does all the adjusting, that does the computer design. And I said, this is what I want. And for some reason, she made it, and the bottom of the bait was the widest part.
Well, the widest.
The widest. And then I said, we're on to something here. And then we went and we put some weight in the lip of it to make it turn a certain angle.
Gotcha.
And when we done that, when water hit that bait, it was just like you took your hand and pushed it down in the water. It was
Straight down.
Wow.
totally amazing. That's how we can get a crankbait that's 3 1/4 inches long and run 25 feet deep.
That's amazing. And you've been involved, you know, over the years, you know, with different crankbait companies and developing crankbaits.
I
But it
have.
seems to me that you have been given the most liberties by Berkeley to really expand and put to fruition what's in the mind of the Duke of Crankbaits.
Well, we have, but I've had the facility to do it in. And we've got lucky on a few things, like figuring out the way water flows over. It's just like these car manufacturers trying to make a car get 25 miles a gallon. Well, we can take a crankbait and make it run twice as deep and wind twice as easy.
Yeah, it's like the
So-
wind tunnels. You
yeah,
guys are just
yeah,
using water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was plumb stupid, and I still think every day I kick myself in the butt. Why in the world didn't I think of this 25 years ago?
Well, you have more technology now.
Well,
though,
it just
too.
didn't have the facility to do that either.
Right.
And it's really catching on. They've been. I mean, we've got a crankbait that's most crankbaits. For most companies, a 2.5 inch crankbait runs 10 feet deep. That's pretty common knowledge, and that's pretty close to what they'll do. I'm going to say 8 to 11 feet. Well, we got a 10-foot crankbait that runs 15 feet plus.
Nice.
So you can imagine what happens when you take that up north around those smallmouth.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, you got a because smallmouth don't like big baits, but I can take a normal size crankbait,
Yeah.
and cast that thing up there, and it's just stupid. I mean, it's just stupid easy.
They'll follow those big baits, but they don't touch them.
Yeah.
Yep.
You get the morsels.
Not
in
near as
there.
good. Now
Right.
you get wind that sometimes, but
Yeah.
And like I say, the same thing with a small bait. And to give you another example, we have what we call the Digger series.
Yep.
And this is a bait that's got a crawdad action real wide. Well, there's one bait in particular called the 4.5. It's new this year. The sucker has about twice the action of the other ones. We change the angle, but if you're in tidal water, you're up in the rivers fishing, any of those situations where you're fishing 6 feet, even a square bill, where you do good on square bills, this thing will outproduce a square bill any day of the week.
Really?
It's just because of the action. When it hits something, it really deflects off
That's
of
the
it.
4.5 digger?
4.5 digger.
Gotcha. And how deep does that run?
Hold your rod down 6 feet, hold your rod up 4 feet.
Gotcha. And the exaggerated action
Yep.
in the current and all that.
It's
is
just
what we're-
pushing a lot of water. It's really, really, really super lively.
Andy, remind us to order some 4.5 diggers, please, after the show.
Write that
You'll
down.
need 'em.
That's outstanding, David. I know that you have plenty of stuff to do here. You're here with Berkeley. You're here with Lou's, and you're here for the people of the bass fishing galaxy.
Oh yeah, yep. We're up there hanging out with Evan Root and Ranger, and you know, all my favorite people.
There you go. All right. Thank you so much, Dave, for coming on and hanging out with us
All right,
again,
thank
man.
you, guys.
We look forward
Yep.
to the next time.
All right.
Hey, I'm Pat Renwick. More action from the 2018 Forrest Wood Cup continues when we come back. Put the power poles down. Don't go nowhere. Welcome back. Stray Cats Outdoor Cartoon Television. My mind is still blown from the David Fritz interview.
Yeah. How about it?
I'm trying to comprehend things right there.
Dr. Frankenstein. Dr. Frankenstein.
But now we bring to you right now our Brostradamus over from FLW Fishing League Worldwide. Our buddy, our pal, our amigo. Give it up for Joe Opager right here.
Yeah. Thank you.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Thank you.
Look at him right there.
Right there's got his name painted across the
Yeah,
chest.
he's got a Joe Opager tattoo on his face. That's
It's the
dedication.
third guy I've seen with
I-
that.
I know.
so that's great. Thank you.
I think-
Thank you.
Hey, does anybody ever put your name together and just go Joe Pegger?
All the time.
I like that.
All the time. Yeah.
It's real easy.
Yeah.
Hashtag
In the
Joe
media
Pager.
room, that's what they call me, Joe Pegger.
Joe
Nice.
Opager.
That's all right.
Come on over.
Yeah. How you guys doing?
We're doing great, dude. And
Awesome.
right off the bat, I'm just going to get this out of the way that we are so honored and stoked that you brought us down here.
Yes.
I mean, for a show like ours, I mean, we're a web show. I mean, we're not a big time outdoor channel.
yet.
Not
yet.
We're setting our sights on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
I want people to have Pat Renwick face tattoos like they have Joe Opager face tattoos. But no, seriously, it means so much to us, dude, that you believed in us since day one. FLW, the entire organization.
Absolutely. Well,
mean-
as I told you guys last time you were here, I've been a big fan of the show from the inception. Followed you guys along, and definitely, it's a natural fit.
Yeah, and
it's a fit having you guys here. You guys are a lot of fun. The anglers enjoy doing it. The fans enjoy watching it. Just a little small part that we can bring to the cup and spice things up a little bit.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
thank you guys for coming down.
And we ask the questions you can't.
Absolutely. You always keep me on my toes.
I see you get nervous sometimes when you walk by.
Yeah, especially with some of the guests you guys choose a lot of time, but that's all right.
We found out some things from Jimmy Houston yesterday that I promise nobody else ever got out of him before.
Yes.
That was interesting. You have to go back and watch it though if you want to know what's up there. But yeah, seriously, I mean the welcomeness that FLW conveys to us, we don't feel like the bad cousin table at the wedding. You know
Good.
what I mean? You know, it's
Good. You're not.
You
You're
go-
not. We want you guys here, so that makes me happy to hear.
No,
Good deal.
It's awesome, man.
It's been a good show for you guys so far?
100%.
Yeah? Awesome.
Dude.
It's been great.
Amazing
It took me
show.
about an hour to make my way over to here from the other side of the expo. It's
Today-
jam-packed with people today, so that's the good news.
Today is
Yeah.
OTH. You know what I'm saying? It's off the hook.
Off the hook.
Hashtag FLW
Yeah.
OTH.
All right.
Right now. But no, I mean today is the is the redemption day. This derby has turned out to be a nail biter.
Absolutely. I don't know if you guys have caught any of the live show today, but I actually watched the whole thing, and Clint Davis is catching him.
Yeah, man.
And it's pretty exciting.
He's got a little lead.
Yes.
He's got a big lead.
But as we know, so how long do the anglers? It's 2:30 now here in Arkansas. So how long do they have to fish? Is it pretty,
I think 3:30. You're putting me on the spot here. It's
Okay.
either 3:30 or 4 o'clock.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, the Justin Moore concert starts at 4. The weigh-in starts at 5, and it's about a 35-minute drive from the ramp to here to the convention center and the arena. So
it's going to be a nail biter.
yeah.
And
if it turns on late for Wes Logan, I mean, he was sitting with a 0 last I checked. He's only 10 pounds behind Clint. If he catches 5 late,
Yep.
he only needs 10 pounds, and he's right there. So it's going to be an exciting finale, and we won't have our Forrest Wood Cup any other way.
And I don't know if you know this or not. I don't know if you've talked to Chris Jones at all today, but
Not today.
we were at the Mexican restaurant with him last night. And,
Uh-oh.
and Chris Jones has no voice because when we walked in there, it was like we were in our college dorm room again. Everyone was choking. There was some kind of
It was
smoke.
like pepper spray.
Yeah, it was
man.
like a smoke inhalation fajitas gone wrong.
like a spicy smoke.
Yeah, and
Great.
Chris Jones was smiling real big and coughing. I don't know what was going on over there. But I said to him, "Hey, it feels like we're in college again, don't it, Chris?" He said, "Show me your best 2 bass." Real happy like. And he had no voice left by the time we left.
It was unreal.
Like Kentucky bluegrass.
But no, it's gonna be a pretty amazing weigh-in today. Again on FLW Live.
Yes.
Make sure those of you watching here right now that you go over to there and that starts up at I believe 5 o'clock.
Yeah. I mean, we'll be streaming the Justin Atkins concert.
Oh, you're doing that
Or
too?
Justin Moore concert.
Justin Moore.
Justin Atkins.
Justin Atkins
Justin
is not
Atkins
performing
is-
a concert.
It's Justin Atkins and
That would be
Casey
great.
Ashley
Yeah, on bass.
performing live today. It's Justin Atkins, Casey Ashley,
The
country
The
concert.
Justin Moore concert starts at 4. The weigh-in starts at 5. Of course, FLWFishing.com is where you find all that.
and Ronnie Moore from
Yeah.
the statistician.
Yeah, he'll be watching, I'm sure.
Yeah. He's going to be performing live with Justin Moore.
Oh,
Yes.
just cranking out numbers for
Yeah,
us.
they're just cranking out
Yeah,
numbers.
absolutely.
Yeah, they're cousins.
If he ever wants to freelance on FLW Live, we'd love to have you, Ronnie. So keep that in mind.
I can't remember the last time I saw a tournament like this where it was literally anybody's. I mean, it was so tight.
Yeah.
And so many changes.
3 Rivers.
From each day.
Clint
Three Rivers,
well,
yeah.
even there, I was researching. Even there, Hackney, who won, was leading after day 3.
Yep.
So I mean, he led going into the final day, and he just wrapped it up on the final day.
Right.
If Clint does this today, he started in 10th place. It'll be the biggest comeback in Forrest Wood Cup history. It really will.
That's amazing.
So yeah, it could be pretty exciting today.
Whoever catches a big one.
If he
Seems
can
like
hang
it.
on, like I said, is
Yeah.
Wes Logan going to catch him? That's the big question.
Yeah.
And the big deal, the announcement was made yesterday. In case you don't know, I'm sure most
Yes.
of you do know already, but we're coming right back here next year.
Absolutely, first time in FLW history.
This is the most convenient location for fans, exhibitors, anglers, everybody. Just the way this is set up.
And that's really the main factor on why we're coming back. Obviously, fishing's been a little tougher this year than it has on Watchtower in years past. However, the crowd is bigger than we've ever drawn. The expo and the show at the arena as well. Everything's connected here. Perfect facilities. I mean, Hot Springs is a great location to host the Cup, and it really makes coming back. It makes sense.
Tough fishing or
100%.
not, it's still a derby. I mean, it's still a dirt. They're all out there
Right.
on the same lake.
Right. And it's still going to be different next year, I
Exactly.
mean, it's never been one in the same spot in the 5 years we've been here previously, so.
Yeah,
Right.
it varies a little bit.
Right.
It varies. And the fact of the matter is, we hear this about all these derbies of this caliber, whether it be the Bassmaster Classic, whether it be the Forrest Wood Cup, but this is a test of the best. So these 10 anglers that are out there today are the best of this particular field. As basic and simple and obvious as that sounds, these are the 10 best guys. And the fact that they have a chance, any one of them has a chance. Because let's face it,
One bite.
every one of these guys has said, hey, I've seen 7-pounders swimming around.
Right.
You know?
I mean, we saw it on the live show today. There were schoolers everywhere. There was big fish everywhere. It's kind of like a video game almost. I mean, when we were up at St. Clair, it was like the video game setting was on easy.
Yes.
And everybody was catching 20
Beginner.
pounds. Right. Everybody was catching 20 pounds. Especially, it was a lot of fun to watch as a fan. But for the championship event, you can't play on easy. You got to
No.
crank that difficulty up to expert level. That's
Yep.
what we're doing right now at Lake Ouachita. And it's
Advanced.
tough out there. It's tough out there. It is. But they're catching them still. And it's still going to be a great finale tonight.
It is. Joe, I want to ask you, you got a pretty cool job.
I do.
I mean,
I'm very blessed.
You-
Absolutely.
You're blessed. You got an amazing family.
I do.
You live in an amazing part of the country.
Love Minnesota.
There's great
Go
fishing.
Vikings.
Yeah, there's great fishing. Fran Tarkenton,
Yes,
man.
I live-
Fran Tarkenton.
I live about 30 miles south of Mille Lacs Lake, so that's pretty sweet too.
Yeah, they got some fish
Absolutely.
there.
Seth Fighter lives there too, so
Yep.
that's cool too.
Well, Seth actually lives in the cities, but he's up there all the time.
Yeah.
Actually, he may have moved up
He
there
moved
recently,
over there
didn't
by
he?
you.
Bought a
Yeah.
house there, but then
Josh
he
Douglas
just sold
did
it.
as well. I know that.
Yeah.
Andy Young moved up there, so yeah.
There's a bunch
all
of
the-
hammers up there.
Absolutely.
But my question to you, you got an awesome life. You're a blessed man.
I'm very lucky.
My
Yes,
question
I do have
to
an
you-
awesome life.
My question to you is like, what is the hardest part of this FLW position that you hold?
The
What's
hardest part.
the hardest part?
Well, when something like this goes right, like it has today, and there's great crowds, and everybody gives me kudos. Great job, Joe. Great job getting the people out, spreading the word, which is great. Yeah, I'll take that because it's a lot of fun. But sometimes the crowds aren't so great, and we've been to locations where the fans don't necessarily show up, and I think I tend to maybe get a little of the blame for that as well. Maybe I didn't do as good of a
You're
job.
the scapegoat.
But that's not always the case. I try to always not take the credit when it's great, or also I don't try to pass the blame either, when it's bad.
Because if it is your fault, then you're in big trouble.
Right,
So
right.
you don't take credit when things are real good, and then that keeps the heat off when things get real
Exactly,
bad.
exactly. My job is to make sure people are aware that it's happening. And now we've got to get them to come out. So when a day like today, great job, Joe. But other times it maybe be like, oh yeah, that was a tough event for us. So that's probably
Thanks,
the most
Joe.
difficult part of my job and the
So
day-to-day things.
when the announcement was made all that quick and everything else, and it was like, hey, we're coming back to Arkansas next year, you're like, whoosh,
Slam
bro,
dunk.
I did it.
Yeah, well, obviously, we heard the reaction in the arena last night when they made the announcement. The crowd went crazy. You
Yeah.
know? They love us here, which is fantastic for us. And bass fishing is a sport, so it makes for great television and a great tournament. So
And we see that the word on the streets in this town here where the convention center is that everybody is abuzz that this event is in their town. Like
Right.
we put disguises on because we get recognized everywhere.
Sure.
You
Yeah,
know,
He's
you
been
know what I mean?
changing babies' diapers.
Yeah,
all day.
they don't ask me to like kiss babies and sign autographs. They're just like, hey Pat, can you change my baby's diaper? They do. But the matter of the fact is that around town it's like, oh yeah, you guys are here for that big fishing tournament that's in town. Everybody is excited.
And honestly, we were over in Little Rock doing media appearances on Thursday morning before the event, and we went into this food truck and got some breakfast. I got a breakfast burrito. He's like, oh, where are you guys from? Minnesota. And what are you guys doing here? Oh, we're here for the big fishing tournament. Oh, the one over in Hot Springs, the Forest. And so he knew what was going on as well. And this
Right.
is an hour away in Little Rock. So that makes me happy. That means we're doing our job well. We're getting the word out. People know we're here. So
100%.
So Pat, I've always wanted to come on and play a game. I know you play a game with
Yes.
all the anglers.
Yes.
All
And
right.
I've always wanted to. I hope you got something prepped. But,
Come on. What do you think?
But yeah, fire me up a game. I want some action while I'm here.
Joe,
We
I
had a
thought you
10-hour
would.
drive,
I thought
so
you
we
would
came
never.
up with
So
some
just because that, we're gonna play 2 games.
Oh, 2 games.
Yes,
okay.
we're gonna play. Let's first play. Hey, can you give me that big dramatic Puggy Smalls music? Let's let Puggy Smalls tag us.
Puggy
Yeah,
Smalls.
Puggy Smalls is a dog who has a Facebook page, and apparently every time that this music that I've chosen somewhere randomly off of something, it's a game show song that Puggy Smalls gets credit, but we need to give Puggy Smalls some credit.
All right.
It's a
here.
celebrity pug.
Or Britain's Got Talent. It's time to play Bass and Life with Joe Opager.
Bass and life.
He's
All right.
a big shot at FLW.
Someday. Not yet, but someday.
No, you're a big shot at FLW. Everything is blown out of proportion when I speak in this voice. I'm your host, Pat Renwick. Ryan, Honey Badger, Bearcat, Whitaker joins us to the right. Joe, let's play a little edition of Bass in Life. And in case you don't know the rules, Joe, all you got to do is I'm going to give you a term or a phrase, and you relate it to bass fishing in life. Let me open up my thesaurus of knowledge as we go right here.
Bass fishing in life. Okay.
Bass fishing in life. I'm going to give you a term or a phrase, and you relate it to bass fishing and life. The first term to you is fun house, related to bass fishing in life.
Fun house.
Yes, sir.
Well, as far as bass fishing goes, it reminds me of Lake St. Clair.
Okay.
That event was a fun house event. I mean, everybody was smashing them. Everybody was catching giant smallmouth. As far as life goes, fun house, that was the party house back in college. We would always go to on Friday and Saturday nights.
There
the fun
it is.
house.
Nickel beers.
$5 cover charge, and you get a cup.
That's right there.
Yeah.
The next word to you, Joe, is hippopotamus.
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 God, to bass fishing.
Yes.
I guess I gotta relate it to the new Ike show that's coming out on Nat Geo. He's fishing around the world. I'm sure at some point he may cross paths with the hippopotamus.
With the hippopotamus. Might even catch one on a crankbait.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the show. So shout out to Ike.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Hashtag never give up.
As far as bass fishing world, the hippopotamus, that's probably going to be the next best in show bait at ICAST next year. They're going to come up with some top water hippopotamus.
Yes, the weedless hippo
yeah,
mat
that
bait.
doesn't catch fish but looked really sweet. And
the flopping hippo.
The hungry hippo.
You guys should make that, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, idea.
It's a great idea.
Ginge, when we order those Berkeley baits, remind me to do the hippo baits. There we go. The next one is backwash, related to bass fishing in life. Backwash.
Backwash. Man. You know, I see the guys come on and struggle with these games sometime, and I'm always like, God, why aren't they more quick on their feet? But then you throw a tough one out like backwash. Okay. Backwash is what David Dudley got when he got back to the hotel room last night from his wife after a long, hot day on Watchtower.
Okay.
He got a backwash.
I got a Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
That's hot.
He doesn't wear underwear, you know.
We learned that from him at the red carpet.
And then, as far as my life goes, I went over to the Hot Springs bathhouse earlier today.
Wow!
And took a soak and scrubbed it down with a loofah. So that was the backwash.
Did you get a happy ending?
No happy endings.
No happy
endings.
Just a backwash.
It's a classy place.
Okay,
it's a classy place.
Okay, very very good. The next one to you is tiger blood.
Tiger blood.
Tiger blood.
Justin Atkins.
Justin Atkins.
That's what he's got. He's got tiger blood in him.
Pure tiger blood.
Yep, learned that at the Cup last year.
Yeah.
So. And then, as far as life, Charlie Sheen. I mean, he was the originator, right?
He's the originator of tiger blood.
Yeah.
There is no doubt about it. Here's the last one.
All right.
Sawbucks. Sawbucks.
Sawbucks.
Yes, sir. Bass fishing in life.
Sawbucks. Well, Clint Davis will have about 300,000 sawbucks in his pocket tonight after the weigh-in.
Prediction.
If it holds up.
Prediction.
If Wes Logan doesn't catch him very soon.
Hypothetically speaking.
Yeah. And as far as life goes, I think I need some more sawbucks as well. You were talking about I'm a big wig at FLW. I'm not that big, so.
Just saying, Joe needs a raise.
More sawbucks would be pretty
Who
nice.
Who was that? I don't even know what just happened there.
Yeah.
I don't know what just happened there. And let's get a consensus from the studio audience. Is Joe Opager a winner?
Yeah.
What?
Hey,
Joe, you knocked it out of the park.
I'll take
Congratulations.
it. You guys are too kind. Too kind.
Way.
You won a sticker.
You won a straight cast
All right.
sticker.
There you go.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
You
That
can
must
have
be
4 if
displayed
you
at
want.
all times over this FLW logo. So let's play one more game because you asked for it and you got it.
All right, gotta be a
We're
quick
gonna
one.
play just the quick tip.
Okay, perfect.
Just
perfect.
the quick tip. Are you ready? This is.
Although it's got to be kind of like media themed because obviously you play this with the anglers. They've got angling tips. I'm not that great of an angler. I get to talk about it all the time.
You're
with these
around
guys,
it
but
enough.
Yeah.
You're around.
We'll see.
This is a serious show.
Don't ask me a crankbait tip like David Fritz.
This is a serious show.
It's a tough act to follow. All right,
time
let's do it.
for just the quick tip.
Oh yeah,
with Joe Opager
that's right.
from FLW. Yeah, get in the hot tub. The first word to you, media related. Hot mic. Hot mic.
Hot mic.
Yeah.
Something that I sweat every time I put in front of JT Kenny or James Watson.
The hot mic.
The hot mic.
In front of JT Kenny.
Yeah.
Or James Watson.
Keep the hot mic away from JT Kenny.
Media related. Quick tip. Toeing the line.
Toeing the line.
Toeing the line.
That's this show. Literally, that is the Stray Cast outdoor cartoon television show. Toeing the line.
Toeing the
Never
line.
quite crossing it, but just toeing it a little bit.
Just a quick tip. Too much monkey business.
Too much monkey business.
Yes.
Too much monkey business. Gonna have to say it's going to be, well, probably the John Cox after party from 2015 when he won. No, 2016 when he won at Wheeler Lake. There was
a lot of monkey
too
business.
much monkey business.
A lot of smiling going on there.
That was an insane one.
Mandatory immediate press release. Just a quick tip.
Mandatory immediate press release. Oh, God, we've had too many of those this year. Definitely we've had too many of those. But I'm going to say a disqualification.
A disqualification
Yes.
brings on an immediate.
That's a lame answer.
mandatory.
That's a lame
press
answer.
release. Yeah, he got that one wrong. He did. That's it. But fact of the matter is, okay, we'll do one more.
All right.
Because that music just gets me every time. I'm in the hot tub now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm feeling it. Here it is. The last one. Quick tip. Working the press room. Working the press room.
Work in the press room. The smell of tacos and sweat.
Tacos and sweat.
And we don't even serve tacos there. It just smells like tacos
Yes,
in there. Yeah.
that is actually a new Versace cologne coming out. It's tacos and sweat. It's amazing. It's the
But a lot of fun.
But a lot of fun.
It's called Friday
The smell
night.
of the press room.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe Opager.
Thank you. Thank
he
you
is the back-to-back winner of game shows on Stray Cast Outdoor
Hey,
Cartoon Television.
all right.
Yes, that is right there. Joe Opager.
Thank you.
He's the dude. He's the dude. Joe, again, thank you so much
Absolutely.
for everything you do for the bass fishing galaxy, for us, for everyone. You're just an all-round righteous dude.
Thank you very much.
I mean that completely.
Let's do it again
Thanks
next year.
again so much for having us.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm Pat Renwick, Ryan Popcorn Whitaker, Andrew Ellenberger, and of course, Joe Opager. Hey, put the power poles down. Don't go anywhere. We're coming back. We still got time. We still got time before the big weigh-in. See you soon. Here we go, round and round. Spin the black circle. We are back live, Stray Cast Outdoor Cartoon Television, 2018 Forrest Wood Cup edition from the Hot Springs Convention Center. How many times have I said that today?
A couple.
In the last 4 days, how many times have I said that? I'm losing my mind.
More than a baker's dozen.
But someone else who equally is losing their mind is sitting next to me, and he is FLW Tour Pro, Shane Lehew. Yes, it's Shane Lehew.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yes,
that.
Tour Pro and namesake of Shane's Bait Company.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We have a booth here, so
And
we've been hanging out.
Troy's tearing it up over
Oh,
there.
yeah, he always is.
He's like a car salesman.
He's
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Troy, yeah, he rages against the machine.
He does.
Yeah, he gets aggressive.
He spins the black circle.
He does,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, he's definitely out there. And for those of you that might be listening from here in the convention center, special on Shane Bates up at the Shane Bates booth, and $5 Kitex.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's
Fats.
right.
And a bunch of closeout stuff.
Closeouts.
Ton.
Closeouts galore.
Just come up and get it so we don't have to take it home. Please.
Shane, summertime fishing is a double-edged sword. It
Yeah.
is. It is.
Oh, yeah.
It's. I've never seen a time of the year where fishing is either amazing or it completely sucks.
Yeah, and August is that time. I mean,
Yeah.
it just depends on the weather, obviously. And this week it was miserable, hot, very little wind. So, I mean, the fish didn't bite very well, obviously.
But you are historically, in your part of the country, one of the predominant summertime fishermen.
Yeah, it's my favorite time to fish, in which Ouachita kind of sets up like it. But this week, for whatever reason, I threw a topwater down the bank the whole time, and I knew I was going to get 1 or 2 good bites each day, and I botched both of them. So it was my own fault.
And it's frustrating, too, when you see those wolf packs that you guys describe, are those marauders, as I like to call them.
Yeah.
And they're just they're big uns, dude. They're
oh
good
yeah,
ones.
those are the ones you want to catch most of the time.
And it does to you something crazy upstairs because you're like, they're there, they're gonna be there, but it's a matter of fact of getting them to bite, dude.
Yeah, sometimes like you'll spook them with the topwater. So you're like, the next one I'll pick up a wacky worm, do something like that, try to finesse one, and that doesn't work, and that's when it really starts getting in your head. When you just can't figure out a bait to get any of them to bite.
Not a good sign when you're spooking them.
No, especially with 6-pound line and a nail weight, little worm and stuff. I tried that kind of stuff, and you would still spook them.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I mean, the guys that made it there, they had to work to make it there for sure.
But and speaking of work to make it there, you certainly did work to make it. Here.
Yeah, here, yes.
I mean, that's a big deal. That's an accomplishment in itself. But, I mean, ultimately the goal is to win this cup.
Oh, yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that at the young age that you were at, the amount of time that you have been on the tour, you got a pretty good cup record of making the cup.
Yeah, I missed it my rookie year, and I was the first man out, I think, or second. Yeah. So, yeah, that stung. I don't want that feeling again, having to watch it at home.
Yeah, for someone that does it for a living, that's I guess it would be the equivalent of your team making the Super Bowl, but you got a hangnail, so you can't make it to the Derby.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and I got two buddies in the top 10, so I get to watch them today. But obviously, I want to be out there fishing, competing with them.
And I think that it's safe to talk about it now, and it probably already has been, but Justin's doing something kind of unique out there, at least in my eyes, the way he's fishing that spoon out there.
Yeah, he's comfortable in what he's doing because it's similar to the way he fishes at home.
Yeah, and what is that rig he's using there?
He's, as far as I know, he's throwing a flutter spoon, and he found some offshore fish, obviously. In practice, that's kind of what he likes doing that. So he just kind of decided he was going to go idle. I like throwing a topwater, so I decided if I feel like I'm going to win a tournament in August, it's going to be doing that. And he was the same way. He's like, I'm going to win deep, kind of like he did at Murray. It was because he got the graph.
Right.
He's very, very good with his graph, his equipment. So, but yeah, he found some offshore fish, but he is going to the bank. And rumor has it he lost a giant, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
Yeah, about an hour ago.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so unfortunate for him, obviously. I don't want to see that because he's my roommate. And it'd be cool to see somebody finally win twice.
Yeah,
so.
100%, especially Justin.
Yeah.
That needs to happen.
And Brandon's made the top 10. It's incredible.
I know.
We've made the same amount of cups, 4 in a row, and Brandon has top 10 every single time.
Wow.
It's amazing.
That's incredible.
And I think it was wild to see them in the exact same spot that they were last year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Too.
Yep.
They were 1 spot apart, 2 ounces. I think
that's crazy.
Is that exactly the same? Weren't they just 2 ounces
I think
last
so.
year?
Yeah, it was pretty close to that.
Unreal.
They leave me out of the loop though, so I'm gonna get kicked out of the group. I think.
You think so? Yeah. It's gonna be 2 Musketeers now.
I'm gonna be allowed like in the area they are, but I'm gonna have to sleep in the truck, like not in the same house. I'm not gonna be able to walk through the door.
For those of you that don't know, Shane Lehew, Brandon Cobb, and Justin Atkins are the best of buddies.
Oh yeah, we are.
They're best of buddies, right down to the knockdown, drag out fist fights.
We're getting like brothers.
Yeah, the whole thing.
We are brothers pretty much now.
Do you guys? Are you pretty open with the information amongst each other during the tour events and even an event like this?
We are probably way more than most people. I know people that travel together and stuff, and they're still pretty quiet, secretive. We're not. It helps all of us. I mean,
Sure.
I mean, you understand. We only have a certain amount of time to understand a lake, and with 3 mines and 3 different approaches, you figure it out a lot quicker.
Absolutely. If you had to put the 3 of you guys in the one room, as often you do, which one of you would be most likely to sandbag?
Ooh, like on purpose?
Yeah.
I don't know.
How can you not sandbag on purpose? Is there
I
such
mean,
thing
well,
as unintentional sandbagging?
Like, I mean, Brandon's always way off on his weight.
Yeah.
And I'm usually a pound light.
Okay.
So if I tell you I got 10 pounds, I usually got 11, probably 11 and a half. Brandon, sometimes
he got big eyes.
Yeah, he'll be way off. He'll be like, I got 9 pounds, and he weighs in like 13. You're like, Brandon, that's not even close. Like, did you not weigh one today?
He was an estimated guess.
Yeah. I really don't think any of us do that.
No, not happening.
I trust those two. I mean, honestly, I talk to other guys on tour, but I put 100% trust in what they're telling me.
I think Justin Atkins would sandbag you.
If I had to pick one, it'd probably be him.
It would be him.
Yeah.
It's evident.
Anyway, we saw something that a lot of guys had tied on that I haven't seen much of, and that was you were talking topwater.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of guys with spooks with several small, like crappie-looking baits tied up in front of them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like a front runner.
Yeah, it is like a front
and 2,
runner.
I've seen guys with 1, but we saw a couple guys with 2 of them.
I'm gonna show you.
Well, they were smarter than I was.
Now is that?
So here's JT Kenny's boat.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what he's got, and it's basically like a Bobby Garland crappie bug.
That's what it looks like.
It looks identical to the Washita shad.
Is that what that is?
Yes.
So
They're
basically,
about 1.5 inches long, and there's thousands of them, but they're tiny.
and he had the clear spook.
Yeah.
Okay, and then he had a couple of those rigged up the line.
Really?
Yeah.
like a crappie rig.
I've never seen anything like it in my life. They're like, and it looked like they were just regular like kale hooks, like number 1 kale
like
hooks.
little ones. Yeah.
Yeah, threaded through there, and it was ingenious.
Yeah.
Leave it to JT.
Yeah, they're way smarter than I am apparently. I need to get some hints from Thrift and JT.
He told me not to show anyone this, but
with that front runner, are you getting a lot of bites on the front runners?
Typically, when they're schooling, you do.
You'll get more bites on that than
on
you
the
will
front
the
runner
actual,
than you actually will the spook. Yes, especially when they're keyed in on that very small bait.
Huh.
Andy's throwing it on an 8-foot cranking rod.
That's a big rod.
Dude,
Big
8-foot cranking rod.
I bet he can throw it from here to Washita right
He's
now.
a squatch anyway.
Imagine twitching that
That's
thing
true.
all day, though. That'd get a little
Actually,
tired.
I've been throwing mine on a 7.6.
So there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much the same kind of deal. The fact of the matter is that I think with those little crappie bugs in front of it, it's not hindering any of the action.
No,
of the spook.
not with that big bait.
He's waking the dog.
Yeah, he's
That's what he's doing.
He's waking the dog.
He's waking the dog with the front runners in front of it.
Those Washita bass probably think it's another bass trying to eat those little minnows.
Yes.
Right. Trying to swim along with it.
100%. So you gotta unwind the brain. I know that it is always a tough thing for you FLW Tour pros that don't make the final day. It's taxing.
It is.
Now, what are you gonna do to unwind, Shane, when you travel back home?
When I get home, I'm probably going to play some golf.
You're gonna golf a little bit.
I'm going to golf a little bit.
Like PlayStation golf or real golf?
I'm going to try to I'm not going to real golf, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not very good. It'll probably be me.
You'll want to fish the ponds.
Yeah. It'll be me, a couple buddies, probably some, waters out there on the golf course. Yeah.
There
so,
you go.
Road
yeah,
sodas.
we're going to unwind.
Adult beverage. Not adult beverage.
So I'll probably do some of that. No, I'll go to Norman. I like going to Norman. Catch a bunch of, spots and stuff like that. So
Alex Davis told us that that Chickamauga is his happy place. Is Norman your happy place?
yeah, usually.
Yeah.
It is. I
Great.
mean, that's pretty much the closest lake to me. So there's a couple small lakes that are pretty good around me, but Norman's 10 minutes, so it's hard not to go there.
Do you guys ever go out fishing, the three of you, Brandon and Justin, and have like a buddy tournament?
We would.
Three team.
We would a lot if Justin didn't live so far from me and Brandon. Me and Brandon are about an hour and 45, Justin's 7 or 8 hours.
Right.
So
It's a little.
Yeah, we did. We went early to lacrosse one year, and we called Bill. He said, "Yeah, you guys can fish any pool that's not listed on the tournament rules." So we went one below, and that was fun. All three of us hopped in the boat and went snatching.
You know what you should do, which would be an amazing bucket list trip for the three amigos there, would be like doing one of those Amazon River peacock adventures.
Yes, that would be awesome.
That would be a time. And film that thing.
I don't know if I probably wouldn't get a bite because Justin and Brandon with a big topwater would probably just school me. And just be like, all right, I'm just going to sit here and eat my beef jerky.
But here's the thing. You would bring the Shane bait. What's the double one?
The Blades of Glory.
The Blades of Glory, yes.
Yeah.
You would bring that, upscale the wires.
Yeah.
Put the bigger hooks on
yeah.
it. You'd school them, dude. Imagine.
I need like a Pen 4000 with a pen, I don't know, one that's got a clicker on it.
Yeah, like in Jaws.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm going to have 8 peacocks on at one time.
That would be amazing, like 8 16-pounders.
And we're being one of those little tin boats that's about as big as the table, just chasing it around.
Yeah.
Hand-carved wooden canoe.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's it. That's it.
Exactly. And then here's these guys with their topwater baits.
Yeah,
and you're like, ha, that's nothing.
I'm just going to troll this thing, guys.
But seriously, maybe you guys could ask Berkeley or Pure Fishing
to
send you
do
guys
a trip.
do a trip.
That would be awesome.
And test the new topwater baits.
I'm going to dial that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
I think I'm going to slide that maybe in my contract.
Yeah, absolutely. No green M&Ms.
Yeah, I'm just going to somewhere, just one line, just
yeah.
And peacock bass fishing trip.
And peacock bass. No green M&Ms.
Yeah.
10 pounds of cocktail shrimp and a trip
Perfect.
to the Amazon.
God,
you got to hire me.
You need to market me. Yeah, he needs to be.
Yeah, I'm an idea man.
You are.
Yeah, I feed the mayonnaise to the tuna fish.
I think just the shrimp, that put me over the top.
The
right
shrimp
there.
is the deal.
The deal.
Is the deal.
It's got to have cocktail sauce.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously.
For dipping pleasure.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So how's things over at Shane's Baits, man? I mean, as far as the company itself.
They've been good. Yep. This is kind of a slow time of year. Alabama rigs kind of taper off a little bit, which I don't really know why. They still catch a lot of deep fish. But, we really pick up in like October.
I gave Troy the new slogan for the mini-me.
Did you?
It's not just for breakfast anymore. That's the slogan.
That's the slogan.
That's the slogan. That's the slogan.
I like it.
Because you can, and I'm like a broken record about that mini me, but you can throw that thing like a spinner
Yeah, you are a
bait
big mini me guy, which I am too.
I love them because you can throw them right behind guys that are throwing spinner baits and just wreck them.
Oh yeah.
People think that you have to throw an A-rig around bait.
Yeah, no, you don't.
You don't.
Sure.
You could swim them down docks. You could throw
That's
them
my
down
favorite thing to do with them.
Yeah.
Around docks.
The
That's
biggest
so much
thing
fun.
about that thing is with the little 2/8s, you can just throw. I throw it on like a 7.2 medium heavy.
Oh yeah, I'm same.
Like
I think
15 pound.
I throw it on a 7
it's
foot.
easy to throw.
Yep.
You can
You roll cast with them.
Yeah. 20-pound line and go to town.
I rig them on that weedless head that you guys make that you can Texas rig the Kitex on.
So it's not exposed.
Yeah, exactly.
Fish them around brush and stuff like that.
Throw it around anything. And fish don't see that stuff.
No.
Skip it under docks.
And
yes, you actually can with the mini me.
Have you skipped it?
Yeah, under walkways. Really? I mean, you obviously if you've got a real small gap, probably pretty impossible. But under walkways and stuff like that.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Oh yeah.
If you haven't tried a mini me, this is not a sales pitch, but it is.
But
you're gonna but you're gonna catch them. I mean, plain and simple. Fish don't see that stuff too often. You can roll cast with the thing. You rig it with a little Kitex.
ShanesBaits.com. Not a plug, but possibly a plug.
Hashtag Shane's Baits on Instagram.
It's right there. It's right there. Check it out, though, if you haven't had a chance to. Big believer in the mini-me. In fact, I just got a mini-me tattoo on my back, which I'll show you after the
can't
show.
wait.
It's the one from Austin Powers.
Lower back?
Yeah, lower back.
Thank
It's
God.
a tramp stamp.
Thank God.
It's a mini.
That's the only place to put one, isn't
exactly.
it?
Exactly.
It's Vern Troyer.
Yeah.
Well, you know that Jordan Lee got a two-time champion tramp stamp.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
I figured you had. I figured you had seen it.
Yeah.
Shane, big year next year for you.
Hopefully, yes. Yep.
This is the year.
I hope so. I would love to win one of these. I mean, it's obviously that's the goal. I don't care regular season, Forrest Wood Cup, So far, what I've gathered, I'm very consistent, which is not a bad thing.
No, it's amazing.
But I struggle with making top 10s. I make a lot of top 30-ish, a lot of checks, but
Go ahead, take some stickers. Go ahead. Come on down.
yeah, come on.
You're the next contestants. Yeah. Yeah, we got plenty more over here too. They're sitting over. Come on, take them. Yeah, you can even have that camera if you want it. It's fine.
Carry that around all day.
Yeah.
Show us the expo.
Give us a bird's eye view of it right there. So Shane, if you have to change something about your approach on the 2019 tour events, what's it going to be, or what have you thought about doing?
I need to fish my strengths a little more. I get caught up in trying to do what the lake is supposed to be doing, like for that time of year. I've studied a lot before I come to a lake, which most people don't think I do, but I actually do. I watch a ton of videos. There's so many videos out now. Everybody's doing it. So
yeah.
And I always go back and look at past results. I watch any past tour event that's been there around the same time of year, any elite event. I try to gather as much info. So I think I get myself a little hung up trying to do those things.
Historically.
Yes,
Okay.
and which I need to quit doing. I need to fish what I'm good at, and I think that'll lead to me making more cuts.
And more in the moment.
Yeah.
More in the moment.
And you're more
fishing.
confident.
Yeah, 100%. Once you start, it's always, I think, better on the angling psyche.
It is.
When you go off of something out of gut or intuition and it works.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you that extra drive, that C word that we hear so often.
Yes.
Coincidence. No, confidence. It just makes you, gives you the ability to achieve that greatness, which is the win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and Justin, for example, super confident.
Yeah. That's
most
why
confident.
I think he sandbags you.
He probably does, but he's one of the most confident guys I've ever met. So I've taken a little bit of that from him, but I also that's something I need to work on.
Yeah. Just
more mental.
You have to walk in the room and give 0 Fs.
Yes.
It's what you need to do.
I agree.
Not 0 fish, but the other 0.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 0 fish is probably not good.
That's not a good confidence booster.
Wake up every day. Piss
not a
excellence.
good confidence
That's
booster.
right. Yeah.
That's
right.
Whatsoever.
I need to watch Ricky Bobby on repeat.
Exactly.
You do.
Yeah.
Motivational speaker.
You need to shake and bake every time.
Every time.
Every time. Shake and bake. It's right there. Get all hopped up on the Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Get out there and
Look
win.
out, Chip. I'm coming for you.
Get out there and win. Bass Fishing
bowl,
Galaxy.
Chip.
This is Shane Lehew, FLW Tour Pro. Expect giant things from him. He's going to be full of C next year on tour in the 2019.
Vitamin C.
Vitamin C, that is. Right there. Shane, always a pleasure to have you on the
Thank
show,
you,
dude.
guys. I
And thanks
appreciate
for
it.
the
Thank you.
support that you guys
Thank you.
show.
Oh,
to
yeah.
us.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep. Great show.
We appreciate it. Hey, that wraps it up. We are finished terminado with our coverage here of the 2000.
Best for last.
Best for last.
I like it.
You are the show
I like it.
closer.
Now I
Yes,
feel
sir.
good about
yeah.
myself.
Yeah. What's going to be your closing song that you're going to sing to the audience?
Oh, I don't know. I think we need to take some requests and come back.
Yeah, we'll come back after this break. Shane's got to warm his voice up.
Yeah, I gotta
We
do
got
some
one
weird
here
stuff.
For Rain and Blood, Slayer.
Yeah.
That one.
But thank you to all who showed their support throughout this entire 4 days of live broadcasting. These shows will be available up on the iTunes, on the StrayCast Facebook page, as well as StrayCast YouTube. Go to straycast.net for all of the links. I am Pat Renwick, Ryan Popcorn Whitaker, Andrew Ellenberger, JP High in the home office, and Larry Theck, the K.
Larry the K.
Doing the iTunes, and of course, the one and only Shane Lehew. America, stand up and shout. The 2018 Forrest Wood Cup champion will be crowned momentarily. Momentarialization. Momentarializing.
I think any of them.
Monetarily compensated soon
A lot.
on FLW Live. Check it out. Peace.